First come, first serve. Anybody? No?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we can
Here.
hear.
All right. I guess I will sum up what happened last time, just to make sure you guys are all on the same page. So, last time, the party finished up their battle against the enchanter and smuggling boss, Samblanet, in the sea caves beneath the house that crawls. The battle actually lasted a bit longer than I think anybody anticipated. There was a certain halfling and a certain hobgoblin who were too stubborn to die. During the battle, a certain tall halfling who liked to pose as a human child had all of her flesh melted off by an acid breath weapon, among other craziness. Ultimately, in the end, everybody survived the encounter. Toothless realized he was going through druid puberty, and everybody noticed that there was a whole lot of silk and elven brandy, two items that are currently being heavily taxed in the region, as well as the slavers having a lot of strange weapons on them. Another item that is being heavily taxed. So, with all of that being said, the party sort of took stock of what they were going to do next and started sort of bouncing some ideas around about maybe acquiring this property or possibly squatting in the property like some smugglers or bandit lords, I guess. They also requisitioned a jolly boat that was left by the now dead smugglers. And they decided to finish exploring the basement of the house. Curiosity too great. They smashed their way into Samblanet's office, did a little bit of looting in there, and then they just could not resist. They had to see what was hiding behind the door marked danger. So, with a lot of clever ingenuity, they spent some time setting Home Alone style booby traps and building a barricade out of beds, and then had a shootout with some skeletons, which eventually drew out the leader of the skeletons, a skeletal alchemist. The skeletal alchemist seemed to be a little out of it and accused the party of breaking into his home. Started talking about the smugglers chasing them in there with a cleric and locking them away, and it was a whole mess. In the end, however, he began to crack under their incessant demands and questioning. And as he fought back, he was finally put down for good. And I believe that is where we left off. So we will just pick things right back up from there. Did I leave anything out? Yes? No?
No.
All right. Cool. So back down into the basements of the house that crawls. Let's take it away, guys.
Toothless did.
Has everyone been disconnected? What happened?
No. Can you hear me?
Oh. Yeah, I could hear you. You sound a little far away from the mic.
Oh.
I can turn the gain up on my end, but I don't know how it is for everybody else. There we go. All right. So I guess mic check. Is everybody there?
I'm here. Greg's
Okay.
having some problems with his headset tonight, so I'm gonna go to a different room.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I can hear him through yours.
Oh yeah, we should probably let him know we can't hear him. Let's see. We cannot. We can only hear you through your wife's headset.
We spent like an hour getting everything ready too, like checking everything, like making no one go into the room. It's a pain. But
the machine I'm on, like if the headset gets unplugged, like you basically have to restart the entire machine because it's like, well, I'm never going to use the headset again. It's like, thank you, computer. Because I guess there's a driver for the other driver that doesn't like the first driver, and yeah, that's kind of how it goes. So
super convenient.
Yeah. I was contacted by the Skeletal Alchemist attorney, but I kind of took care of that for you guys, so you shouldn't have too many problems. Just said it was a big misunderstanding. Everything was fine. He's fine. Nothing to worry about. So
the cops were called.
Need a rug to sweep him under.
Yeah. What would have been great is if one of you had like a background of like Saltmarsh Town Guard, and you're like, we are the cops, and then it was like, oh, that's a bad time. So what we're gonna have to do then is, while Toothless is sorting, we're on the clock here, so we're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons, and Toothless will need to catch up when he gets the sound working. I believe what Toothless was hoping to tell you via roleplay channel is he sees a secret in the corner of the room. So right there. And the combination of Toothless noticing that and Illyria kind of grilling him on where his lab was located, I think was the final push that threw him into a panicked outrage and spelled his doom. Not that he hadn't already spelled it, I guess, by, being an undead skeleton alchemist. But yeah, so there is a suspicion over here, according to highly observant Toothless. There could be something more to this room.
Interesting.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Oh.
Hello.
Hey, we
Hello
can hear
there.
you.
No. Mm-mm.
Not a miracle.
Yeah,
You were there for just a second and then you disappeared.
Whoa.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Regret.
So where is the secret door?
All right. I've long clicked it a couple times, but I will make it a little more obvious.
Can I cast Detect Magic?
Yeah, you certainly can. If you're gonna cast as a who's asking the question? Illyria?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Rangers can ritual, but yeah, if you're willing to use up a spell slot to cast it.
Okay, then I can't.
I don't think so, yeah. I think the only ritual casters are clerics, wizards, and bards by default. So yeah, it would actually be listed in your abilities on the bottom right hand side of your sheet if you had ritual caster. So
can I just
do you have it?
No, that was Terry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So that Tari is casting Detect Magic as a ritual? Okay, so you start casting the ritual, 10 minutes. While that's going on, Haxley, you said you were going to kind of feel along the wall and stuff. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Can I guidance as well?
Yeah. So Thogrim gives you supportive, hand on the shoulder kind of deal, and you feel.
I was just gonna offer help too.
Possibly 20% more better at finding stuff. Because you are looking in the exact right spot, you do have advantage to this check. So, yeah.
Sweet.
Toothless would help you, but he's still going through those awkward teenage druid moments. So while he's dealing with that, you actually do see the faintest lines that indicate that there is a secret door here. It is a sliding door similar to the one that is used to access the sea caves.
Oh, guys, I found a secret door over here. That Toothless already. Let's
Okay. So as you are searching and sort of puzzling this out, Tari is finishing up on her ritual. And as you go ahead and get that door open, let me do that for you. There we go. All right. So the door slides into the wall and reveals to you what looks like an alchemist laboratory.
Yeah, I'd be careful running through here. Who knows?
It's true. Could be all kinds of booby traps in there.
That bugger's trapped anything.
All right, so let me give you a brief description of this laboratory. The secret door slides into the wall and reveals a clutter of broken glass and earthenware piled on the floor beyond. There are 3 small copper pots lying amid the debris. As you enter the room, you see that a bench runs along the northern wall, right there. And it seems to be just covered in busted and aged out alchemical equipment. But among all the wreckage and mess, you can see that there are jars of powders and liquids and lots of chemical apparatus. There is a table along the western wall, and it forms an L shape with the bench. There is a book open on the table, and on the table there is also a candlestick with a tiny stump of unlit candle still in it, and a variety of other items that even in the dimness of the room, you are pretty confident are gold. One of these looks like a human skull.
Who's
Can I
practicing
light the candle?
Shakespeare?
Yeah, if you'd like to light the candle, you certainly can. Let's see. Get a little light in that room.
Don't think.
There we go.
Slick, so what is this, what's the deal with the skull?
Do you want to touch it?
Wait, let Tari check.
Just out of curiosity, can anyone hear me now?
We can.
Yeah,
we can.
It's a fucking miracle. Sorry. It's good we have 3 computers in the house.
I am sort of playing my pipes, sort of with like the intent of kind of echolocating any kind of like magic that, kind of like bouncing off the strands of magic that might be around.
I dig it.
Do I notice
So
anything?
basically within 30 feet, I got to tell you about magic emanations. Just so you guys know, a basic healing potion does qualify as a magic item. So that's something that people ask about sometimes. So let me tell you about the magical stuff that you see. So let me go up here. Did Skeletal Alchemist have anything magical about him now that he is busted? Let's see. Yeah, he is actually carrying. You see, tucked into the folds of the alchemist robe, there is strong magical emanations coming off of it. The magic seems to be of the school of alteration, transmutation.
There seems to be something, some sort of transmutation magic or something in his robe over there. Buddy looks like he's about to.
He is also the alchemist is also wearing a what looks like a leather fanny pack.
Magical.
And that is magical as well.
Ooh.
How couldn't it be?
He's clearly a tourist.
Should definitely wear that, Turi.
What sort of magic do I sense from the?
From the fanny pack, conjuration.
It's a fanny pack of holding.
Yeah, well, it looks like there's a couple of magical items on this bloke over here, but I don't know about in the room where y'all are, if there's anything dangerous in there. Is there anything that I see? And does the skull look like it's gonna murder anyone?
As you head into that room, here you go. Let's see. As you head into that room,
I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty fashionable. Yeah, it's cool. Nobody would ever make fun of you for wearing that. So you head into the laboratory. There's the faintest bit of transmutation magic along these shelves here, and then there are two bright emanations coming from two potion flasks. The potion flasks are unlabeled, and the school of magic from them is impossible to define. If you had to put your finger on it, you would say that if anything, that they contain wild magic.
And I'm sorry I'm a little late to the party, but what's in this room exactly in addition to those things?
So the table has some stacks of coins on it. It has some golden objects, a human skull, an apple, a rose, and a set of 5 small discs, which are something hacks would identify as merchant weights. Somebody's like Darth Vader breathing into their microphone. Is anybody?
Could be me.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Toothless. I just sent you a message. I was trying.
All right. There is also a book open on the table, and let's see. Yeah. Go ahead and let's see. Oh, you know what? You have detect magic going. You detect that there is a hidden drawer in the table, like built into the tabletop, and there is some magic.
There's
magic coming from inside of that as well.
There's something magical inside of a hidden drawer down there. You with the rogue's tools. I show him where the drawer is.
Moi? Yeah. I want to hold up those other thieves' tools, the broken ones, and ask her if those are magic too. Just kind of hold it in front of her, see if she gets a thing or something.
Yeah, they are magic as well. School of enchantment and illusion. So basically, they are, they are magic, but what exactly they do is still unknown.
Okay, I'll use my regular thieves' tools then.
Okay.
I think Toothless would walk up behind him as well and grab the golden rose. Oh, this looks pretty.
Okay.
Buddy would love this.
As you touch the golden rose, you are able to pick it up. Right.
Good news. I like it.
Yeah, give me an investigation with advantage because you know that there is a hidden compartment here.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Now that you kind of know that it's there, you do kind of do a couple of light knocks with your knuckles on it, so you hear the space. And then with your thieves' tools, it is not even locked. You sort of just slip one of the tools in there, and you're able to sort of fish the drawer open. And inside is a very thin spell book.
Ooh.
Ooh.
A leaflet. Does it have a title?
Yeah, it is definitely like a super casuals spellbook, to be sure. Do you want to flip through it, or do you want to wait? Sometimes these things can have explosive runes. So
Yes, I know all about that. So
Yeah.
I think I will wait. You have some arcana, so. Any other drawers in the desk? You said there was healing potion magic coming from somewhere?
Yeah, there are
Last
2
turn.
magic potions on the shelf over here.
Yeah, 2 unlabeled ones. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got those. Anything else in the desk? We got the rose.
There was a human skull, an apple, a rose, and a set of 5 small discs, which are essentially merchant weights. All of the items that I listed are gold. There's also, if you count up all the coins on the desk, 47 gold coins neatly stacked into various stacks on the table. And if you were to salvage alchemical equipment from this lab, you could assemble an actual set of alchemist tools.
Mm.
I think Toothless would take those.
You could also leave them. I think we might just
Come back.
try and yeah.
Yeah, that's fine too. I think Toothless would like kind of bite down on the golden rose to make sure it was actually gold, but like once satisfied, he wouldn't really want to do anything else here.
I mean, yeah, it's gold, but it's definitely a very, very soft, very delicate piece. Yeah.
I'm
Be careful with
I'm
it.
gonna add a bent
Yeah.
golden rose to the inventory now. And then on the skeletal, not lich. Oh god, buddy. Who left Buddy in here? I'll throw him at Toothless.
So you've got the strange fanny pack looking thing,
Okay.
and then there's also let's see, a bright red stone, and let me see. I think I have art for that.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
That means it's important. Oh yeah,
I
spellbook.
mean, to be fair, Buddy has art. I mean, he's important too, I guess.
I mean, of course he is. Jeez. I didn't even think that was up for debate.
Totally forgot
Yeah,
to
and
ask
before
this
we
guy
leave, I
about
think
Buddy.
Toothless would look at Buddy and be like, "Ah, Buddy, is there anything you want from here before we leave?"
Ooh, that's a very important question. Yeah,
forgot to
so
ask
go ahead
the
and give
lich
me
about
a
Buddy.
give me a roll, or yeah, D20 check. D20 check. Yeah. Buddy, as you kind of hold him up, he just kind of flops towards whomever pocketed those mysterious potions.
I'll inform people later about that.
All right, so this is the juicy stone that is radiating magic that you found sort of tucked deep into the robes of the skeletal alchemist. You also noticed while you were shaking down this guy's broken body, looking for his goods, that all of his ribs are also coated with gold.
Nice.
Huh.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
This guy's the gift that keeps on giving. It's like Santa Claus.
And the book on the table is simply called Ye Secrets of Ye Philosopher's Stone.
Oh.
Huh.
Yeah. It is written in Common, which for Forgotten Realms, Sword Coast would probably be Chondathan, right? That's the most influential human culture in the region. They kind of drove trade and commerce throughout the Sword Coast, because lore. And yeah, so it's written in the common tongue, but it is, get ready for this, too profound and recondite. Am I saying
Nice.
that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
A work to be fully understood by anyone other than the appropriate specialist. But like a college textbook that you never should have had in the first place, you could sit down and spend a grueling 8 hours trying to read it and then make a check and maybe understand what's going on. That's how complicated the materials in that book are.
Well, who likes to read?
Tyree picks it up.
All right.
Starting now.
As you pick it up, you sense the nerdness coming off of this book is astronomical. If you had to rate it, it would be over 9,000 is the nerd power of this. So.
Is that like a logarithmic?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
I'm pleased.
Okay.
Is anybody taking that sweet fanny pack or the Philosopher's Stone-ish thing?
Well, I've always wanted a fanny pack, if you wouldn't mind.
What's in the fanny pack?
Oh, yeah.
You opening it up, Toothless?
Aye, let's take a look at it and see what's in there.
All right. So as you open it with the strange metal teeth that are used to open and close it, there's sort of a weird tongue that sticks out of these interlocking metal teeth, and when you tug on the tongue, it kind of pulls sideways along the mouth of the bag, and then its teeth stop interlocking and open up. But when you open it, it seems that the bag is empty.
I'll put my fingers in there to see if I can sense anything.
Flip it upside down.
Oof, you are so brave. So you put your fingers in, kind of feel around. Yeah, I mean, you sense that there's something more to it, but yeah, like just kind of feeling around isn't doing it. What are you feeling as you in your heart, in your mind, as you're feeling around in there?
I'm just trying to get a sense for if it might be a little bit maybe deeper than or more profound than one would expect.
You get the idea that you should be able to, if you wanted to, put things in there that wouldn't normally fit. As you're kind of interacting with the bag, you do kind of get that sense that it is used to store things that it wouldn't normally be able to hold. So
Toothless is kind of...
This is relatively common magic item in a relatively high magic world. So anybody who makes a Arcana check of 10, even without training, would be able to sort of identify what this is. Yeah. So you've heard of you've heard of this technology. This is a bag of holding.
Toothless kind of like sort of on the DL tries to put his erotic book of poetry into there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It greedily just devours it. Just
He hopes to see it again. He wants to read more of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and slate a hand that you sneaky boy, because it looks like Therese trying to keep some tabs on you there.
Oh, really?
And I don't notice anything. I'm
I don't know.
wondering
You
about those
might.
potions.
RNG.
No, I'm thinking about the book already.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Are you sure you're not a rogue? That's incredible. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So you just kind of get it in there. So, the 2 potions. Yeah, they kind of swirl almost prismatically the contents inside, and they alternately sort of bubble and grow still. They swirl and make little whirlwinds, little whirlpools inside. They definitely seem to be a very volatile substance.
Does anyone know anything about potions? I know less than nothing. I suppose I have the sense to not drink ones I find in alchemical layers.
Yeah,
filled with
I'll hold on to them
evil skeletons, but any ideas?
Crash, are there different sizes of a bag of holding, or is it all kind of the same size?
I believe they standardized it in 5th edition. There used to be like 17 different varieties.
Okay, good.
But nowadays, you've got your handy haversacks and you've got your bags of holding. Those are the 2 main ones.
Really cool.
I'll link the D&D Beyond link for bag of holding so that you guys have a better sense for what it can do. But essentially, inside of the bag is a tiny pocket dimension. It is 2 feet in diameter at the mouth and 4 feet deep. So keep that in mind. So you can't hide like a horse in there. I've seen a lot of things try to be hidden in a bag of holding. The bag can hold up to 500 pounds, not exceeding a volume of 64 cubic feet. The bag weighs 15 pounds, regardless of what's inside of it. So even if it's completely empty, it would weigh 15 pounds, which is pretty hefty for a fanny pack. Retrieving an item from the bag does require an action. I'm actually not going to link to the rest of the information until you guys get it formally identified.
Yeah, no problem.
But I'll post up this first part for you.
Did you?
Cool. Thanks.
Did you say the description of the bag? This bag in particular had a motif of teeth, or like a tongue?
Yeah. There's a picture on your treasure thing of its teeth and its little. It has several mouths and little tongues hanging off of the mouths, and apparently you can use those to open and close it.
All right.
Yeah.
Zipper technology.
And
yeah,
you said the red gem. You said you had a picture of it. Oh, and treasure. Whoops.
Yep.
I'm missing out. There we go.
Sometimes I'll do just like I'll have like a picture folder that I'll draw from, because if I had like a handout for everything on that you ever discover, like our Roll20 would just be, it would be so much stuff. So
Can I take the redstone?
Yeah, Skull hand him the redstone for now.
If you'd like.
What'd you say?
I hand him the stone. Yeah.
Oh.
Here you are, dwarf.
Cool.
Probably gonna go with the book.
And I guess.
So
what do we think?
How prevalent is?
Go ahead.
How prevalent is alchemy in terms of the popular conception of it? Like, is this like 1700s England where it's like all the alchemists are trying to create gold, and that's what everyone thinks alchemists do?
In Forgotten,
or are they like
in Forgotten Realms, in the region that you are in, traditional magic is really like the boss. But then they had this thing happen called the spell plague, where everybody that did magic got like crazy sick. A bunch of people died. People got really, really messed up. So people started to sort of branch out into other means of getting magic. So that's sort of where warlocks started to become like a popular thing, because like people viewed it as an alternate means to power, since you weren't reliant on the weave of magic. And the popularity of being a wizard, and even to a certain extent being a cleric, sort of died down as people were looking for other means to power that maybe wouldn't result in everybody getting killed the next time magic malfunctioned. In recent years, alchemy and artifice have started to gain a lot of popularity, as can be seen with people trying to smuggle firearms and other like clockwork type things out of into the Sword Coast region. So, but at the time that this guy was alive, he was definitely like a hipster nerd. Like he'd go to like wizard parties and be like, I'm working on some stuff that's just gonna blow your mind. I mean, it's things that you probably haven't even heard of before. I'm about to crack the case on turning things into gold. But again, at his time, that might have been like an actual unique, cool thing to do. In these modern days, like forge clerics and transmuters and lots of people have figured out how to do this kind of stuff. So it's certainly not nearly as appealing as it used to be. Does that make sense?
So it's more about gold and less about eternal life.
I mean, if you read his incredibly nerdy book, that's so nerdy it requires 8 hours in a skill check to even hope to understand, you might learn more about his studies.
So what do we think? Should I take his whole rib cage or just break off pieces?
I'm gonna walk
I
over.
just take
He almost succeeded. He turned his
take
rib
it
cage
all.
to gold.
Yes, let's take his whole rib
I'll help
cage.
you.
Well, where are we taking this stuff to?
I don't know.
To town.
Yeah,
No,
so
gold
the
rib
human
cage.
rib cage has 12 paired bones. So that would be
As they move to start disassembling the torso, I'm just gonna play like a little melody of repose for like whatever good might have existed in him, like as he is dismembered and sold for parts. Just like a little
as you
prayer.
start playing, you're pretty sure that you see his right hand kind of ball up in a fist, the middle finger prominently held straight in the air at you.
And Buddy comes to watch all of this because Buddy can learn, I think, from this kind of stuff.
Oh no, buddy, don't.
Yeah, so it's very sad financially, because he has 24 ribs, but each rib is only lightly coated in gold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you found somebody that was willing to go in for this
Haxel would kind of like to ask the party if we could just leave the anything gold in the lab for now, because it might have something to do with alchemy.
What?
Something to do with what?
Cut out.
Like the alchemy stuff. I mean, it could be King Solomon's gold for all we know.
Are you thinking about Midas's gold, or the guy that like couldn't touch his own wiener to pee or it would turn to gold? Is that the guy you're thinking about?
King Solomon had special gold. I don't know.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. He had some gold too. Yeah, gold traditionally has a lot of curses involved with it. Yeah. But it's not like you took this gold from somebody that really cared about it and killed them in a terrible way. I mean, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and nothing to worry about at all.
Yeah.
Snap.
Toothless would be like,
snap.
Yeah, sure. We can leave the rest of the gold there. That sounds reasonable.
I got these skeletons have skeleton stuff. I think we're pretty good, guys.
Yeah, the skeletons, you guys checked them out.
Yeah,
I think last week, and they had hot garbage was their loots. Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Oh.
should we go to town? I have heard there are some party members who would like to go look at the local kind of quest board.
Oh yeah, we need to go talk to the mayor. Go
You're,
tell her about the guards.
Ada? Is it Eda?
So
Ada?
I'll have to look.
All right. So is that the plan? You're gonna pack it up and head back to town?
I think so. My
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do it.
my cigarettes are getting a little low. Buddy's getting a little hungry. We should head back to
All
town.
right. So it's only about 2 p.m. when we started the session. We'll assume that you spent, I don't know, doing a ritual, searching a room, trying to figure out a magic bag. We'll just put you at 3 o'clock. So since you do have a ranger in your party, all travel times are halved. So it would only take you 90 minutes to get back to town instead of 3 hours.
We could, and we're gonna sail.
Yeah, if you'd
Oh.
like, you could sail.
I do like myself a good jolly boat.
So given the treacherousness of the coastline, I would say you were using essentially like an old road to travel. So Ranger, I would still say she could help with the travel. But yeah, we would need to go ahead and do some sailing stuff. So we would need to do a water vehicles, a perception check, and a navigation tools check. So those would be the 3 checks that we're looking for to kind of make your way. And navigation tools would obviously be at advantage because you have the coastline to guide you. But the perception and the water vehicles is going to be the real trick because, again, you don't want to hit any, shoals or reefs or rocky outcroppings, that sort of thing. You will be jam-packed in the boat as well, so just kind of keep that in mind.
I think I can help you avoid any kind of rocks in the water.
All right.
We should set up a system early on once we start sailing boats. Do the sense
I'll
of
keep
perception.
my-
I'll help him so he has advantage, and then either I don't know who's driving, but Dogrim can do the navigation tools, and someone can help him. Does help require proficiency?
We just take a long rest for me to make them.
Oh, you don't have any. Okay.
I don't think we have any unless anybody's carrying some on them.
No.
Now, again, the navigation tools is not the end of the world because you have the actual continent like right next to you. So as long as you keep it in
good.
sight and don't go out into deep ocean, you should be okay. I mean, if you flub it real hard like that could be bad. Does anyone have the Outlander background?
No.
No.
Okay. Yeah, but again, you can see the coastline, so you should be all right navigation wise. I'm just kind of saying that when you use a ship, those would be the 3 main skills that you would be using. All right, if that is the case, yeah. Given the size of the ship and the amount of people that you have, is your intention to try and load up some of the smuggled goods, or do you want to leave them here for now, keeping in mind that smuggled goods are still smuggled goods even when they are in the possession of adventurers? So you would still have the same difficulty selling them that normal people would. Now, Haxel, you know the right channels to go through and will be able to find them easier than everyone else because of your background, but you would still be essentially breaking the law. So
I've
just
only
gotta keep that in
returned
mind.
at least a bit of them to the council to sort of prove our trustworthiness.
Yeah, how much do we have? I wanted to add it to the inventory, but we found, what's it, like 5 bolts of silk, and how many barrels of... Could have gone back and checked
Let's
the
see.
video.
We got
We opened
looks-
one. Yeah.
It would be 9 silk total, and 11 things of elven brandy.
maybe we ask for the right to sell the stuff. That's part of our reward.
So I could take care of all that for you guys.
I bet you could, lad. I bet you could.
Just put it in the lab. Close the door.
That did sound like a pretty good idea. We could at least store it in there.
Because one did get away.
True.
And they might not know about the secret door. Is there a way we could reconceal this door?
Yeah, you certainly try. I mean, you could close the door back up. There, and then there is this whole destroyed door barricade situation over here. And you got acid burns and dead skeletons and stuff. But yeah, if you're willing to put in the serve bro time, you could probably try to set things back to where they were before.
Yeah, we could put if we're not going to take any with us now, we can put all the inventory in this room and then seal it back up and then dispose of these skeletons and hang up like a quilt or something so they won't notice it.
Does anyone or everyone object to returning at least a portion of the loot, the smuggled loot, to the council? I feel like if it's reward you're in it for, we'd be rewarded for solving the mystery they asked us to solve.
Yeah, I feel like if as much as we could take with everyone else in the boat, if we're gonna do the boat thing.
Haxel doesn't believe it'd be seaworthy to do that just right now.
I don't know. Maybe we could take just like one bolt of quilt or whatever these fabrics that humans care about and show them that we found it again. If I have to swim next to the boat, I can.
I don't think we should tell them about the smuggled goods or the smugglers at all. They didn't really ask. They just wanted to know what happened.
No, they did.
I think they knew about the smugglers.
Yeah.
Yeah. They suspected smugglers. That's why they sent the guards, the first 3 guards. And we basically got told to go check on the guards and then the smugglers situation.
We could always say this is what we found. We didn't find anything else.
I mean, you don't have to say the second part.
It's a lie.
Just let them assume. But yeah.
Do we have anything else we could take back? Like something that doesn't cost much? Like something
The
like
silk bolt probably doesn't weigh that much.
Yeah, let's take one silk bolt back, tell them this is what we found. And it'll be a lie by omission, apparently. This is how you humans operate.
Yeah, but then we're gonna flub that deception check. She's gonna be like, "Really? You only found one?
How much?
Bolt of
How
silk
much does the barrel of brandy weigh?"
So
the
barrels
no brandy.
Are 30. They're 30 pounds each. So the barrel itself weighs about 5 pounds, and it's got about 25 pounds of brandy in it.
Toothless clicks his jaws at you, Tyree.
Sorry, I don't speak
Whoa,
clicking or tooth or whatever that is. Were you trying to say something?
No, yeah, let's leave that one here.
There's nothing else like, I don't know, small, like we can't get like a signet ring or something off of Semblene, or I mean, I can go take his head off and we can take.
Well, the other thing is those asp thingies. Those were smuggled too, right, from the goblin or the gnome oil.
That is worth revisiting. Haxel is these are great weapons. They are definitely an equalizer. I mean, you do a lot of damage with these things, which is pretty nice. But they are technically
so we can just kill the council.
They are technically something that is not. Yeah, they're technically something that is not normally sold in the Sword Coast. So people that have them are people that got them illegally.
And you told us last session that they're like super outlawed.
Right, because again, wizards still hold like a lot of political power. They don't want the average Joe to basically be able to create their own, gunslinging army kind of thing, and all that jazz. So, I mean, that being said, I'm sure most adventurers are in a constant state of committing some kind of crime. So, you know, you do you. Just keep it in mind when there's guards around and stuff like that. You might not want to be like wearing it on your hip, in certain areas.
All right, we got 4 of those. That was the number we came to on the spreadsheet? Does that sound correct?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Okay. And Thoggle took one.
The hobgoblins and the halflings were not using them, and Samblene was not using it. So that sounds about right.
And Toothless may or may not have taken one. It's hard to say.
Okay, so that's all 4 of them accounted for then.
Well,
so
there was the 2 pirates. There's the scout that got away, and they went and fight Samblene. He had 3 pirates, and that's where I got the 3 from, because I didn't put. There should be 5, because I remember you said you took chippers already. Or Thogrim has chippers.
Yeah, chippers.
Yeah, I grabbed the one
what
off
the heck
the
are we gonna do
guy
with Chipper? I
that
forgot. We gotta decide that too.
Yeah, I mean, Chipper's technically still alive. We knocked him out, so he's going to be out for a little while. These continuous knocking outs, I mean, he'll eventually get brain damage. So, there's that to think about.
What if we take Chipper back with us?
Yeah, I think we should.
Turn him in.
Turn him in. Whatever.
That'd be fine with me.
He will tell them about maybe tell them about all the smuggled goods.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
certain death as well for him.
Yeah, I don't see any need to turn him in. He was forthcoming. I don't think he bears us much of a grudge if we stop hitting him.
Yeah, I'm for not turning him in. I see no reason to.
I just kind of want to raise my hammer like over his skull. So
no, put it down, and not on his head.
I mean, our mission was to come and deal with the smugglers. Should we not take him back? He is a smuggler.
I mean, it's to be.
Well, our mission was to find out what happened to the guards and
see if there was a smuggling operation.
Right. I mean, he's not really one of the smugglers as such. He's more of a ancillary lookout sort of person. I don't.
Look at that.
I mean, I don't.
Absolutely no problem in attacking us.
Sure, but
just like the one that betrayed us and came back and told them all about us.
We did murder everyone else around him. He probably didn't feel like he had much of a chance.
What?
I'm gonna drop my hammer on
what?
I wanted to take him back as leverage.
Jeez.
All right.
Oh my god.
Oops.
He only had 1 HP, so that's that. His head crushes, and he is dead.
This is like one of those
murdered a defenseless, restrained prisoner. So
yeah,
if anybody were wondering about alignment, that would definitely fall under neutral chaotic evil. Just so if you're keeping track at home. I don't keep track of alignment. I know some players think it's important, but this is a perfect example of a neutral evil or chaotic evil act.
Is he savable?
No,
yeah.
He's smashed. He's done.
Also, by the way, Crasham, I think I lost sight in the room that I'm in.
That's weird. Okay.
Happens.
Probably because you don't have any dark vision.
There we go.
This is where like the camera pans over to the party, and then like in the top corner it says, "The party will remember that."
Well, now we don't have to debate it anymore. I'm ready to go.
I think we'll have to debate it in the future, unfortunately, Thogrim. That was, we'll have to discuss this. That was, we'll need to be a little bit more consistent in the party.
All right. So what next? Sounds like you're bringing 1 bolt of silk, and you plan to take the ship. The jolly boat? Is all that correct?
That sounds correct.
Okay. All right. So I'll assume that you guys spend some time. You load up the boats. Go ahead and give me the perception check and the via water vehicles check. We will forego the navigation check, owing to the fact that you are literally along the coast, and it would take a tremendous amount of bad luck to go the wrong direction at that point.
Like, they 5-starred the dungeon. They just decided to sail back in the ship, and it was lost at sea.
Yeah, and then you
APK.
ended up in Schult, and I guess we're playing Tomb of Annihilation. Okay. So, you guys wouldn't
I'm gonna help
survive in a
Toothless
jump
with his
the
perception.
Schult. That's
I'll
great.
just be on the other side. I'll just help them.
Okay.
Look at, so he'll have advantage on his check, and then I guess Thogrim and
Because
Haxel
for these, to prevent a literal tidal wave, well, not literal, but a figurative tidal wave of skill checks, I am only looking for the first skill check that I see in Roll20 for the things that I ask for. So you guys decide as a party when I'm asking for a check, who's going to make it, or I guess just pretend you're a contestant on Jeopardy and hit the buzzer before anybody else.
Is there if we're both proficient in it, can I just help him? It's always good to have two people on the tiller.
Yeah. As long as you announce that before the dice are rolled, definitely. It's sort of a discipline thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like how well organized are you guys at working together? Yeah. All right. So Toothless, you use your concentration to continuously guide yourself as you are looking for outcroppings and shallows and things like that to avoid. 19's pretty good.
Also, and sorry, Crash.
Yeah.
My passive is currently 15, but I think it should be 20.
That's the
okay, because
the
of
ninja nerf bat.
The observant feat. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not quite sure what happened. Sorry.
There was a patch and they nerfed it. So sorry.
They nerfed it for all of Dungeons and Dragons, or they just nerfed it for Roll20?
That was a joke.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'll change it for you real quick. It has to be done in the back end of the character sheet. So.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, no problem. So while I'm doing that, somebody want to throw up the water vehicles check, please? Use your wisdom score for it, because you were trying to.
Go ahead, Thogrim.
You're trying to intuit the ocean and try to figure it out.
You said just a wisdom check?
Well, no, it'd be your proficiency. If your proficiency with water vehicles would be water vehicles, and then you would tell it the stat that you're going to use is wisdom.
Ooh.
Yeah, all right.
Nice.
Speed
you expertly sail around all obstacles, and with the aid of the ranger and the excellent water vehicles check and good lookouts, you guys make great time, and you will arrive back at the docks of Saltmarsh in roughly 90 minutes or so. So I will move you guys back to that map, and we will kind of take it from there. I'm looking for where to increase your passive. There's so many things in the back end of your character sheet.
It's impressive.
Yeah. Passive perception modifier. There it is. All right, cool. All right, so let me move y'all back to the big map, because for the town, unless you start murdering citizens, shouldn't need too many maps. So let's see how it goes. All right, you guys are back on the map. You arrive back in Saltmarsh. So I'm assuming
before we disembark, I'm wearing this nice slick new coat.
Mm-hmm.
And you said there's some secret pockets in it. I want to make sure I tuck my asp in one of those.
Sure. Yeah. It's a small enough gun. It would be easy to conceal. Alrighty. So you guys arrive back at the docks of Saltmarsh. I'm assuming that's where you guys would take your boat, right? Is there some other plan to maybe dock south of town and then walk in, or are you okay with taking your newly found jolly boat and just rowing/sailing right up to the docks like a normal ship?
Said it was unmarked, wouldn't it? They might be suspicious of that. There.
Yeah, we have to.
If we get into the report, we'll have to go by a dockmaster.
Yeah, but we can register it when we get there.
EMV, Dungeons and Dragons.
Alrighty. Yeah, the docks. Here we go. As you arrive at the docks of Saltmarsh, let's see. They are the beating heart of the town. The fishing trade and related commerce that keeps the town alive is based out of here. The docks have recently undergone a series of expansions intended to lure larger merchant vessels to the ports. There are 2 primary piers that are used to load and unload large ships, and there are a series of smaller ones to accommodate humbler vessels like you guys. This part of Saltmarsh is almost constantly busy, and it is rare to see the large piers unoccupied. Guarded warehouses are a common sight in this district, and it is considered suspicious to be down here at night without a good reason. Because they've got a lot of goods here, and they don't want anybody to steal them. The docks are a hotbed of rumors and gossip. Sailors and laborers frequent the area, and they are bored and eager for news, and often inclined to share what they have heard. So, as you guys sail into one of the smaller piers, you are sort of approached by a dockmaster or someone working for the dockmaster, and asked to essentially declare your vessel. They have a little book and everything that they write this sort of stuff down in, and you get the feeling that they are going to be asking for some money in addition to some information. So, who is prepared to handle that?
This is the Jolly Boat. Her name is Jenny. We're here to talk to the council.
Okay. The human man with his bristly mustache and his half-moon spectacles and his large nose that's very red and bloodshot. He scowls at you behind big bushy brows, and he clutches his ledger in one hand and kind of looks at you with just wonder and a lot of suspicion on his face. The people of the Sword Coast are working hard to get over the many prejudices of the past. But seeing a boat full of circus performers row up to the port that is literally loaded up like a Volkswagen Beetle clown car has him sort of like edgy. And then to see that the leader of this band is none other than one of the gator folk from the nearby swamps. You can see his mood sours immediately. He kind of bristles and says, the Jenny, huh? And he opens his book.
Yes, the Jenny. We brought her back for the council. They asked us to deal with some smugglers. Please run off to them and tell them that we've come back successful. Now.
Okay. He starts to nod his head as you give him orders. Says, so let me understand. You want me to run some errands for you because you work for the town council.
Can I just
go ahead.
Can I put my hand on Toothless' shoulders to calm him down a little bit?
Sure. Okay.
And then say,
sorry, the man is very upset. The man is very upset.
And I'll just kind of apologize.
I hope that you're gonna sort this out, half-breed, because all I heard was smugglers, and I have half a mind to call the guards and let them sort this out.
We actually just came from a smuggling den that we took down for old lady Eda. We brought the ship back as well with some evidence that I think she's going to be interested in. We almost died in the process. That's why my friend is so.
I see. So has this boat been here before?
The Jenny was just newly acquired. I can't really say I have much history with her, but
legally
like
acquired. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Yes, she was legally acquired. She's part of the Bubba Gum Shrimp Company.
Mm-hmm. He narrows his eyes at you and says, seeing as how this is the first time this ship has come to port, it is going to be 5 gold to register. And you can see that the piers are filling up, if not already full. So we are going to have to charge you 5 silver a day for a vessel of this size.
Understandable. I give him 5 gold.
Okay. Alrighty. He gives you directions on where to stow your ship, basically, and it will start accruing from this moment forward 5 silver pieces. Essentially, every dawn there will be another 5 silver pieces added until you take the ship out of port. And it's one of those things that, unless you essentially stole your own ship, you would have to go through, the right channels to get your ship and all that jazz. So since you guys don't own, property with your own dock and all that jazz. So that is settled. And you get the feeling that everything that you told this man is probably going to be told to every person he meets. So just keep that in mind.
That's good.
Yeah. What do you guys do now?
Well, should we go to the town council, or what do you guys think?
The town bar?
Or the town bar. That would also work.
It's probably where she is. Well, maybe she goes there often. I don't know.
Yeah, let's collect our prize from the old lady.
Yeah, quest XP, yeah.
Well, didn't you say she was going to give us?
Yeah, there is also gold.
Yes, there is gold and maybe other things.
Okay,
150 gold.
You guys packed up at the house around 3 hour and a half to get back, put you at 4:30. Say that you took about 30 minutes dealing with registration and all that. So it's about 5 p.m.
It's beer time, I think.
Yeah.
Probably.
It is spring, so the sun's not going to set until 7 o'clock or so. So yeah, if you wanted to try to make your way to her, you could certainly as locals discern directions to her house pretty quickly. Is that the intent, to go directly to her house?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go talk to her.
Should we? Do we bring the?
Yeah, wasn't that the plan too? In the you said
what
bringing
now?
the loot.
What's going on?
The Axel. I think he's talking about the.
I think I'm
illicit
having
products.
Yeah, Haxel, if you're talking in a stream, yeah, we're only hearing like every other syllable.
It's green. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, it may be your sensitivity settings in Discord. Like it may be like clipping you. I don't know.
I push to talk. Maybe it was just put on not.
No. Okay. All right. So you're gonna head on over to what is known as the Oweland House, which is where Eda Oweland lives. So this is the sweet old lady in question right there. So She lives in a sprawling mansion. And despite the you know the wealth and power at her disposal, the house has a more like Weasley family vibe to it than like an actual rich family. So it's definitely a down to earth situation. So the house and the gardens seem to differ in design and construction as they were expanded to meet the growth of the family and the aesthetic choices of the current head of the household. But it is an old estate, and she is currently the head of the family. So, as you head on over to her place and you see it in all of its Weasley glory, yeah, you discern finally where the front door is, and yeah, it is a bustling place. There are children and grandchildren everywhere, kind of chasing each other around, enjoying the spring weather. You see that there are many people outside. Smoking pipes, monitoring children, doing some scrimshaw whittling, just generally enjoying being off of work and being back at the homestead, as it were. Being a motley collection of circus performers, you immediately draw the attention of the people that are there, and they all sort of look over to you guys as you approach. One of them, a kind of steely-eyed young woman with red hair, she takes particular interest in you and starts heading towards the party, but she does seem guarded as she does so. All right. As she approaches, she says, "Hail and well met. What brings you to our state this hour?"
We're here to talk to Eda. She had a bit of a task for us, and we'd just like to update her on our status, please. My name's Tari. Sorry, you are?
I'm Sonia. You must be referring to my aunt. If you don't excuse me saying this, are you adventurers?
I suppose. I mean, it hasn't felt like an adventure to this point, but I suppose you could call us that if you needed to. Why? What's
Auntie E just doesn't seem like the type to hire adventurers. It's just kind of weird.
She did say she had a bit of a smuggling. Well,
A what now?
Do I notice anything from her body language? Whether like is she disgusted? Is she like does she not want us there? Is she embarrassed? Like
yeah, so go ahead and give me a insight check.
All right.
Yeah. You're not really sure what this girl is thinking, or feeling at this point. Her demeanor kind of has you a little bit off guard. And as you kind of say, smugglers, she immediately says, "What now?" And seems to be very interested in what you've said. And has sort of, I guess, yeah, again, it's hard to read. So she just sort of stands in your way, as it were.
Is she younger? Like, what's her age?
Yeah, human wise, she would be in her early 20s.
Yes, if you'd like to hear stories of smugglers, we could tell you some. Otherwise, we'd like to talk to your, I don't know if she's your mother or whoever she is, but Eda, about what we've learned.
She's my aunt.
Oh, but if you'd like to learn, we'd love to talk with her, but Yes, like I said, if you're interested in hearing about stories of pirates and smugglers, we could give you some.
Yeah, she just looks at you in fascination at the eloquence and loquaciousness of a lizard folk who has so much to say and says it so well. And she says, against my better judgment, I think I might take you up on that offer sometime. But all right, I'll let her know you're here. Please wait here. And as she leaves, she says to some teenage human males, keep an eye on them. And she kind of heads deeper into the house or collection of houses that somehow are strapped together to make a big house. Yeah,
I
so
start playing like a kind of lighthearted children's tune, just trying to get like the kids, everybody to come and like dance. It's like maybe is there like a folk dance that I know from the area that like everyone would kind of partner up and like country line dance style, like kind of get everybody kind of on our
okay.
side
Yeah,
slightly.
as you guys are playing that, or sorry, as you're playing that and you're waiting for this girl to go find Auntie E, you hear some clapping coming from behind you. And yeah, you realize that Lady Oweland, Eda Oweland, she is walking arm in arm with a much younger man, and they are making their way along the same path that you took, and they are heading towards the house. Yeah.
I think,
So,
yeah, I guess I would approach them.
Yeah, I give her a nod, but I let other people. I keep playing.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So she and this guy right here walk up, and he has his arm out in a gentlemanly way, and she has her arm kind of hooked around his and is sort of clapping into her open arm as it's kind of hooked onto his. And it's very much like how best son would walk elderly mother home, kind of thing. It has that sort of vibe to it. And he watches your performance with great interest, but is immediately has his attention drawn to everybody else, because there is such a interesting collection of individuals there. It doesn't seem that he recognizes any of you. You guys can totally roll history checks, even if you are not trained, to see if you recognize this person. All right. So it's a pretty prominent person in town, so you're really only looking for like a 10.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. It would probably make sense that you wouldn't know this guy, yeah. Yeah, so anybody that got 10 or higher on their history check, you know that this is Gellan Primewater, and he is a well-spoken merchant, one of those people that the business card just says businessman, kind of deal. And he owns many ships, and he is invested in many of the local businesses. He does a lot of like philanthropic work in the town. He works alongside he works alongside Eda in the running of the town, and the two of them are the most prominent members of the Saltmarsh traditionalists. So you guys do know all of that. So, and to remind you, the Saltmarsh traditionalists are the guys that have this adorable double fish banner right here. Yeah.
And
yeah,
is he on the council as well?
Oh yeah, he's yeah. She and him are probably the two most senior members of the council.
All right, I'm trying to see what I know about the traditionalists in my notes here.
Yeah, so to refresh, the Traditionalist is a faction representing prominent fishing families and merchants in the town. Basically, they want to keep Saltmarsh the way it always has been. However, in recent years, other businesses, governments, organizations have identified that Saltmarsh is turning into quite the shipping hub, and they're after it. They want to either have it for themselves, or make it a township under their government, basically, because currently it is its own free town. It's its own independent little port town, but it has attracted the attention of other groups that are interested in acquiring it, and they have, over the last couple of years, sent their own members down here to try and sway local politics in directions that would be better for them. So the Traditionalists very much are the mom and pop shops and the salt of the earth coal miners and fishermen kind of deal that keep big business out of our town kind of thing, like let the little guy mind his own business kind of thing. That is what the Saltmarsh Traditionalists are all about. So yeah, this guy Illyria, he gives you like a wolf vibe. Like, I don't want to say like a werewolf vibe, but we could go there. He kind of gives you a werewolf vibe. Yeah, he definitely strikes you as an intense individual. And to see this this kindly old woman arm in arm with this guy is a little jarring, I guess you could say. But let's see. But you do. Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. Yeah, so you do kind of get a weird sense of like, huh, okay. I mean, I know these guys are friends, but to actually see them like jovially next to each other, like walking down the road together, it's kind of weird. But maybe it's something that happens all the time and you've never really noticed before, Like, who really pays attention to local politicians in their everyday life? You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is like not what I expect of her, given what I know of her, and so I'm sort of looking at her body language, like how is like
she there under duress. Okay, yeah.
Like,
as Tari winds down her song, she kind of laughs and he gives her sort of a dancing kind of twirl, and kind of she laughs and he chuckles, and then as his hands are freed, he begins to applaud as well to the performance. So go ahead and do an insight check for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nope, 3 points.
Three crits in a row.
All right.
Okay.
You're inciting Eda. Eda is very happy. She likes this guy quite a bit. She feels incredibly safe with him around. This is what you insight. You are beyond confident that is how she feels.
I think Toothless at this point would approach Eda and be like, Eda, it's good to see you again. We've encountered some smugglers and we should discuss what we found.
So Primewater kind of raises a bushy eyebrow and he says, Eda, these must be the specialists that you had mentioned. And she says to him, oh yeah, these are the adventurers that I hired. I told him all about it because Gellan and I, we go way back. I knew his parents, and I've watched his rise to fame and success over the years. And honestly, if it wasn't for him, I think we would have already lost this town to those goddamn Daggerfords. Anyways, It's good that you've returned. You were gone a while, so I was starting to get worried.
We're happy to be back. We should tell you what we found.
Oh, certainly.
In a more private company, if you understand.
Oh, no. I've already told Gellan what was going on. He actually is the one that tipped me off that there were some smugglers. And he just sort of like bows his head.
On
who on Primewater?
Gellan?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, what you said that?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
if you want a little butt slap, there's a little guidance.
Yeah, nothing weird about butt slapping your friend. So here's the thing. This came up earlier today. Inciting is a reaction. Guidance is an action. So unless you already have guidance on you, you cannot use guidance on an insight check. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, you would have no idea that somebody was inciting until they did it, because they're doing it as a reaction to something that happened. So not trying to be the guidance police here, but just kind of keep in mind that there are definite limitations to the spell. It's sort of like if you think you're going to be in combat and you've cast guidance on yourself and combat starts, you could use guidance on your initiative roll, because initiative is actually a skill check. But you couldn't use guidance on yourself at the beginning of every fight unless guidance had already been cast beforehand, because rolling initiative is also a type of reaction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess I would have cast guidance just before Haxel was gonna do what he was doing.
But how would you know he was going to do that?
How would you know that Haxel was going to insight people?
You know him that well.
Ideally, he would let me know.
I'm gonna make an insight check. No. It's only a 2. I don't think it was very good anyway. It's not.
It's like inside the brain type of thought process.
There's a lot of weak sauce excuse going on here.
Once we get level 6 Rary's telepathic bond, yeah.
Regardless, first and foremost, make a macro for guidance and spam it like crazy with who you're using it on, or simply type into chat who you're using it on. Keep in mind that if you're constantly using guidance, that is going to be using up your concentration slot.
Yep.
So you're always concentrating on guidance, and also keep in mind
I will spam it all the time.
Okay. Regardless, Haxel, even a 14, which it is not, but a 12. I don't know. He seems humbled by her words. He seems to be nodding in agreement that it happened. He's got bushy eyebrows and scars. The dude, he lives in a town called Saltmarsh. It's got, like pirates and shit. Like he looks the part. He just he kind of nods his head and he says, there was that. There were some rumors about that. Some cultist, I think it was. I brought it up to Eda in strict confidence, so you must have really impressed her for her to hire you on to investigate such a dangerous undertaking, especially with we shouldn't speak here. Let's Eda, do you have time? Perhaps we could sup together and discuss with your new hires what happened and maybe what the next move should be. And she kind of nods like, yeah, that's a good idea. And she says, you're welcome to come in for dinner. We'll take it in my private quarters. That way we can discuss. And she leans in conspiratorially, your secret mission. You made sure not to tell anybody about it, right?
I'm a bard, and I gotta tell everyone everything.
Oh,
but yeah, let's do dinner. It sounds great.
Yeah,
when we discussed it, I mentioned how it needed it to be discreet, because I didn't want anyone to think that Saltmarsh was the kind of town where smugglers could get in there. And okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I see. Well,
imagine that Glare has a toothless.
I'd I'd at least like to find out what happened. All right, here we go. Come on in. And yeah, her mood definitely has shifted towards the party with that admission. So you are kind of guided into the house. They don't seem to have any servants. And she just kind of totters along, and there's like a narrow hall with like random like paintings and knickknacks or whatever. And eventually it opens up into a wider hall that's got different paint on the walls than the narrow hall does. And there's like a half stair that takes you to like a split level, and then you go down the hall again. And eventually you wind up in her like wing of the house. And she asks, to have some food brought and that sort of thing, and family members do so. Given the grandiose size of the party, they essentially just bring you guys like a cold baked ham, some loaves of bread, some cheeses, and the utensils to enjoy it with, as well as some fresh water and a couple of jugs of mead.
On the way up there, I want to kind of catch everyone's eye and just be like, kind of like apprehensive.
Yeah. So imagine your most eccentric
same.
grandmother house that you've been in, and then make it like unusually large. That's what you're dealing with here. So just a strange house with a very like traditional grandma decorating scheme in the area of the house that you are in. But yeah, you guys kind of settle in. Her quarters are furnished to the point that she has she has like a table for you guys to sit around and eat, and the food is kind of put there and all that jazz. You see that her niece Sonia is one of the ones that has brought the food and drink, and she kind of eyes everyone in the room with great interest. She kind of excuses herself and closes the door behind her. Gellan, he man spreads a little bit, like dudes will do, on the sofa that he's sitting on, and he reaches forward to the low table and starts to load up a plate. Eda also kind of totters over to the table and loads up a plate, and then kind of settles in an armchair that has a little side table next to it for her drink. And you see her kind of reach in and get out her pipe. And she, between bites of food, is kind of packing the pipe and getting ready for a smoke.
Just trying to find a really sweet Gaston gift to post, but
Giphy's the best place to get gift links from. They work really good with that script. So otherwise, it'll just kick back the word image to say like you didn't do it. So. Or there'll be links, and then if people click them, it'll kick them out of Roll20. So so the two of them motion with the food.
If we took 5 minutes, or I'm gonna just...
You need like a 5-minute break? Yeah, we're at the halfway point. Why don't we do a 5-minute break real quick, and you guys can compose yourselves for your report. So sound good?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
There's like a ton of really funny ones that would have worked.
I like that one.
At that point in time.
The second one's good for.
Yeah, like that's what I was like when he gets ready to.
You can click on it. It lets me click on it.
Yeah, you can click on it. It sent you, but I was trying to actually like post it. It wasn't like kept bringing me to like Tumblr and a bunch of other random ones that weren't working.
outside.
Glad I got that 320s in a row on camera. She's
You
on our
need it.
team.
The chances of that are like astronomical.
Yeah.
All those wasted 20s, though.
I don't know.
Hopefully they'll come back. Hopefully. But yeah, that was pretty impressive.
All right. I don't know if it's been 5 minutes or not, but is everybody back or some people still on break?
Present.
Okay. We'll just do a chime in here in general chat. Cool. 1R. Okay. We're just waiting for Skull.
I'm here, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess we're good to go. Haxel, you there? Maybe not. Haxel's the one that asked for the break, so maybe he had some business to take care of. Let's see. All right, we'll give him 1 more minute, then we'll get started. Yeah. Awkward old lady mansion. It's always a weird place to be.
Just a bunch of like tubs of butter that don't have butter in them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If the whatever the D&D equivalent of I can't believe it's not butter tubs is used in abundance in this household for sure. So
I kind of feel like Buddy might fit in pretty well.
yeah, the cookie tin that's got sewing materials. Yep. All the candy jars have Werther's originals in them. Yeah. It is. There's a lot of old lady cliches for sure.
I think Buddy's going to be pretty happy.
Yeah, you did notice there was an antique doll collection as one of the weird oddities you saw in the house.
Set him next to them,
Buddy.
so he can infect them.
So Toothless, as a human anthropologist, this might be a way to segue into some conversation. You know? Yeah.
I see you also collect tiny children.
Yes. I
found this one. This is the newest part of my collection.
Yes.
All right. I think we've hit the yeah, I think we've hit the 5-minute mark. So we are going to jump back in because we are on the clock. So Haxel can catch back up when he gets back. So all right.
I mean, I think given what you were just saying, Crash Gem, I think Toothless would be like, well, I see you have a nice doll collection. My doll also likes it. I'd love to learn about how you could keep a doll and feed it. My doll's very hungry.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Primewater and Oweland, or Eda and Gellan, depending on how you're feeling about this dinner. Yeah, they both kind of stop mid chew or mid sip, and they just look at the doll, and the doll looks at them, and they both kind of like hard swallow, like dry swallow, like what they've got, and Gellan looks side eye at Eda, and Eda looks at Gellan, and they both start to chuckle. And Eda says, "Oh, you found? Where did you find that?"
We found it at the house with the smugglers. He's a very cute little guy, very, very expressive.
Yeah, you might want to take that. You might want to take that to the temple, and get it checked out. Because I'll be honest, it looks a little cursed.
Am I right?
What do you cursed in what way? Do you know?
Oh, I mean, I'm no wizrobe, but I guarantee you that Welgar over at the Temple of Valcor, he would definitely take a look at it for you.
Well, we'll see. He's grown on me, but we wouldn't want him to hurt
could pretend
anyone.
that you're taking your dolly to the doctor. There you go.
Toothless has no idea what to say to that. So he'll let the conversation proceed from that point.
Okay. Yeah, so the best part about having NPCs eating is that the DM can eat, and it's not rude to have him smacking his gob into the microphone, because it's called immersion. So sorry if I disgust you guys as I eat this cheese stick, but it's gonna happen. Yeah, so as everyone, I guess they watch to see if you guys get food is definitely something, because you know, this is a world with like vampires and shapeshifters and all that. So oftentimes a good way to figure out if you're being bamboozled is to kind of just see if they do normal humans or humanoid stuff. So
I grab a plate, and I also ask if she has any pickles.
Pickles.
Of course we have pickles. And you see her reach into her robes, or not her robes, but her clothes, her skirt, her blouse, and she takes a small bell and she kind of rings it, and you hear the thump 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 of little feet, and a small kid yells at the door, doesn't open it. Granny, the door's closed, so I know you got business going on. What do you need? And she says, is that you, Tony? And he kind of says, it's Tonias. And then she just says, these fantasy names. Look, Tonias, bring Grammy the pickles. You want sweet pickles or dill pickles? Or you want dwarf pickles? What kind of pickles do you want?
I guess dill pickles, yeah.
Dill pickle. Bring the dill pickles for Grammy.
I could grab the wrong one.
All right. So yeah, you hear the of feet, and he runs off to fetch the dill pickles. Anyways, one of my family members makes pickles. I don't know. There's so many of them. Anyways, it sounds like you had quite the adventure. I'd love to hear about it. What exactly happened?
Well, we killed some smugglers.
Okay.
They're no longer in that house that they were in.
Skull will pull out the
you see Gellan watches you as you speak with the predatory eyes of like a wolf as you speak, and it's like he's devouring every word that comes out of your mouth, Toothless. You have never felt like anybody listened to you with the attentiveness and the respect that this human is listening to you right now. It feels pretty good.
How does Buddy feel about that?
I mean, who can say? Like, you're not Buddy, and you're not psychically linked with him. And how could you be psychically linked? He's just a doll.
Just a doll, man.
That's a good point.
All right.
Skull will pull out the set of chainmail that would belong to one of the guards. He'll set it. Well, he won't set it on the table. That'd be rude. But he'll pull it out and show it to him.
Wow.
We found.
Where were you keeping that? Man,
in a backpack.
that's got to be some backpack.
Yeah, his skull's backpack is just bulging with his scarf.
Yeah, you look like a cartoon character with you got like 6 backpacks on.
You should have seen the scouts. They had like 10 pouches each.
Sure. All right, let's take a look at this, huh? And she kind of leans forward in her chair, and she says, unmistakable. That's one of ours. Well, what happened to him?
Kind of forgot. I think this one was either the one that was set up as the trap, or it was one eaten by the snake. I think it's probably the snake.
There was a snake?
There was a humongous snake. It's also been dealt with if you want your people to go check it out.
Yeah, okay. How big is ginormous? How big of a snake are we talking about?
Really big. Really, really big. Like it could eat you big.
Like on a scale of like gnome farmhand to orc barbarian. Like how long a snake are we talking?
Have you seen the play Jerry Pogger in the Chamber of Farts? Have you seen that one?
I don't make it to the theater as much as I like. We don't have a local troupe, so you have to go all the way to Jaggerford or Waterdeep if you're gonna take in a show.
Breaks character.
But I'll keep it in mind. So there's a big snake. It ate one of our guards, and then you said another one was turned into a trap. That sounds gruesome. Did it blow up? Yep. Was there a fireball inside of them?
Let's just not talk about it. Let's just...
Axel, you feel your skin crawl as this memory is brought up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Does Toothless get a sense for like this guy that's like staring at him intently? Like is he like angry, happy? Like
he is extremely, dare I say, observant. He is just taking in everything and seems to be trying his best to keep up with the story and the conversation. In a world of busy people, he is a very attentive listener.
I appreciate you being so interested in what I'm saying. Can you tell me more about what you're hoping to learn?
I appreciate you appreciating me. It's good to see someone representing a foreign culture in such a pleasant and respectful way. I think the name was Toothless, right?
That's right. Yeah. I don't have many teeth in my snout.
Yeah, I've seen you around town. Your presence is doing wonders for relations between our town and your people in the swamps and fens north of here. So I thank you.
And well, I'm glad that we can talk with each other. But you seem, is there anything we could help you learn about? Or
I guess standard questions might be, what made you think that these folks were actually smugglers, other than Eda telling you that she thought there might be smugglers, and me telling her that I had heard that there might be smugglers in the area?
Well, that seems sufficient.
Yeah.
Is everything okay? Are you you choking?
No, I actually just did, which
Medicine
is strange.
Choke. Medicine check.
Immersion.
But with the creepy cellar doll, and now this guy hitting on you Toothless, I'm starting to wonder. Well, I'm starting to wonder what the hell's going on.
We'll find out soon enough. He'll either die or not. He doesn't actually say that out loud.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that'd be a great place to start, because it would be a goddamn shamed situation. if Eda and I sent you guys to investigate and you killed a bunch of innocent people. So, I mean, I understand you took the law into your own hands, which, I'll be honest, is a little rowdy for my tastes. But, you know, I guess what needed to be done. But I guess we'd like to know. And he looks at Eda, you know, kind of imploringly. You know, like why? What was going on? Like, I get it. The guards were killed. Sounds like one was killed by a snake. The other one was found, I'm assuming, dead. You said trapped. I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
and then
I was gonna,
you know,
elaborate.
Yeah, like what? Can you guys elaborate here?
Yeah, so I was gonna say basically, that.
And who are you exactly? Dragon with the huge backpacks. Like what is? You don't have a name?
Yeah, he'll say his name and then he'll basically explain, I guess. He was I guess looking for some action in these other adventurers were enlisted by Eda, so they enlisted him. It was kind of secondhand.
Oh, okay, cool story, bro. But like, is there like what actually happened, right? Like, can any of you, like, besides you murdered a bunch of people, tell us what happened? I mean, we'd like to pay you for services rendered, but we need to understand what we're paying for.
Yes.
And Eda kind of puts her glass down a little hard on the side table, and she says, "Exactly, what is going on?"
This is easy. We were sent by you all to go investigate the house.
We know that.
Yes, yes. And he'll like, can Toothless like pour her a little bit more wine or no?
Or I mean, that's if you want. Yeah, okay. Wow. You grab the mead and start heading towards her glass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put cultural relations here. Give me a persuasion check so that she takes this as a gesture of hospitality and not a giant lizard man is charging at her. So she screams. And kind of like backs away.
I'll back up like super quickly.
And you see Gellan on a flash is on his feet, and he says, "Whoa, what's going on here?"
Oh, I was just meaning to pour the nice lady a drink after we.
I hope
for her.
I hope that my friend hasn't made a mistake inviting you into her home. You're making us both very nervous. So I don't mean to be rude, but you're taking too long to tell your story. Dwarf, please tell us what happened.
So look, all right, we showed up there, we found a trapdoor. We went in the trapdoor. A couple of nerds attacked us. We killed them, you know, because they attacked us first. I mean, that's self-defense, right? Even
nerd, that's gnomish for asshole, right?
Yeah, something like that, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, so we killed them. You know, we found a secret lair, and you know, we got attacked by some more nerds, quotations, and you know, we dispatched them as well. You know, and you know, they had some of this stuff on them, and I'm gonna pull out the pistol out of my backpack. And I'm gonna put the pistol on the table.
All right.
So, you know, you can consider it smuggling if you want, but tell me how they got this, you know, hair. Obviously, they're smuggling.
He looks at it with some confusion. They had metal wands, sticks. What is this?
So basically, from my understanding, you take it, you pull the little device, the little trigger thing right here, and then a metal ball goes out the other end at a high rate of speed. Just say it.
Oh, that's a firebrand.
Yeah, you know, call it what you will, but I know they're not from around here.
Yeah, they're that's pretty contraband.
So
they had a lot of these?
Just
we only
the
picked
one.
up one.
That's all we need. That's all we need in this town is these things. They're gonna bring the wizards of Thay down upon us with this sort of stuff. This is terrible.
He actually lied. We have more.
You have more what of these firebrands?
We do, and Toothless will take out another one.
Oh my! Oh, Timora, protect us! Oh, this is getting bad. So they had illegal weapons that the wizards of the region have explicitly said are not allowed. Oh, what else was happening?
Where's the bolt of silk?
I guess I was carrying that too.
Okay. So Skull the camel kind of reaches back onto his 16 backpacks and he produces the bolt of silk. Yeah, that I know what that is. That's some Kuraturan silks. Yeah, that's got a pretty high tariff rate right now. That's a common thing to smuggle. All right.
So you're welcome. In short.
I see.
No more smuggling operation. Your guards, one of them was taken onto a pirate vessel. Sorry we couldn't save him. The other two were killed.
Whoa! There's a pirate vessel?
Yeah. It's part of their operation. We kind of shut the whole thing down. So
you sunk the ship?
No. We didn't see the ship. But
so if there's still a ship, then how did you shut down the operation?
Yes, you got a good point, but
I think I do.
I don't think they're going to be using that place anymore, seeing as we killed.
Oh well, thank God there's only one cave on the Sword Coast.
You're probably right.
I think she's right. I think we'll probably have to go looking for their vessel or vessels.
I mean,
he blows out a long raspberry and sits back down on the couch. Mansplains it out. And he just kind of like has a hand on his forehead, like people do when they're getting a bad migraine. And you see that his hands kind of absently trace the scars on his forehead and on the right side of his face. He kind of motions to Eda, and Eda, she just seems kind of baffled. And she says, "Well, what about the demon worship? Was there any of that going on?"
What do you mean about demon worship?
Well, I mean, rumor had it that they're, in addition to being smugglers, that these folk were also up to no good. Is that beyond that, like some real scary stuff?
No. So
we didn't see any of
the old wizard that lived there. That's part of his trick to scare people off.
They had a wizard.
Yeah. He gone.
So a wizard and a giant snake. This sounds crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we must have killed and I'm gonna hold my fingers up and start tallying pirates. I mean, we must have killed 10 or 12 pirates, a wizard, maybe a couple, some skeletons in there, a snake. I mean, we even dealt with some large badgers or something. I don't know what they were. Illyria, what were those things? Were they badgers or I don't know.
Yes, they were badgers.
They look like huge dogs, but we dealt with it. So
weasels actually.
Oh yeah, weasels. There you go. So I figure you probably owe us, maybe 2,000 something to gold or something. I don't know.
Wow, that is wow. I can't believe that you would even say words like that. We had a prearranged amount for this job, if you recall.
Yes, and you owe me nothing. You can divide it up amongst the rest of the party.
I'll take a share.
Do you not need to be compensated?
No, it's fine.
What?
I'd feel terrible after hearing your story and what you went through and God knows what nightmares you must have faced.
Well, you can give it to Tyree. She saved me a little while ago.
Look, it sounds like you did some phenomenal work up there, and I know we had agreed on less, but I will make sure that each of you is paid 50 gold pieces each for your work.
Well, that's very generous of you. Thank you.
I do have to say though that you are going to need to hand in those firebrands. I have to turn them over to the guard. If you got caught with them and word got out that I knew you had them, I would be implicated. You understand the position you've put me in.
I do. Here you go, my lady. Here's my firearm.
Thank you. I'm sorry I frightened so easily. You're just so big and you have so many teeth.
I understand. And plus, I like to eat flesh, so it makes a lot of sense.
She eyes the ham and kind of shrugs. I mean, we all like to eat, flesh if you really boil it down.
Look, you're sending us out back after the pirate ship, right?
I don't know. Are you applying for another job?
I like to make a clean. Well, not as clean as some of us, but I do like to wrap bows around things at the end. It sounds like this is still a problem.
Do you even know what you're going to do if there's a ship? I mean, do you know the name of the ship? Do you know the colors that they fly or where they sail? I mean, I would be beyond grateful if you could finish what you started, for sure. I would be willing, perhaps even, to turn a blind eye to these weapons that neither of us perhaps saw, and send you on your way with them if I knew that they were going to be used to bring to justice those who would steal and enslave servants of this town, good, hardworking guardsmen who were just doing their jobs. If they're taking people, that's a sign that they're moving on up from smuggling to slavery, and that is an abominable crime.
So I have a proposition for you, Eda. If you give us the rights to the house, we'll help take down this smuggling operation another notch.
You want, what, the house that crawls?
Yeah.
In exchange for stopping the smuggling operation? She looks at Gellan, and Gellan gives her a hard look, and she gives him a hard look. And he says, are any of you property owners? I mean, you willing to pay the taxes on a piece of property like that? It's been basically kept alive by the estate of the previous owner, but that's all but run dry. If the place wasn't an absolute waste of space, we probably would have hired somebody to destroy it by now, and then wouldn't have to worry about smugglers in it. That being said, if you don't mind living 3 hours away from everything in a place that has a real bad reputation, sure. Yeah, I mean, we can arrange that.
That's fine with us.
I don't want it. I don't care.
I mean, we can maybe not pay for it, but we need to kind of use it as a stepping stone to get to this pirate ship, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I think I follow. You're going to return to the house, hope that the ship they work with makes contact, and then try to what do the halflings say? Bamboozle your way on board?
That's right. We'll do our best.
He kind of makes a face like, that's not half bad, to Eda, who makes a face that's like, that's not half bad. And they both kind of nod, and they say, all right. this you have to understand though that there's a lot of political activity in the town right now. A lot's going on here. There's factions that are vying for control of the resources and of the town and the hearts and minds of its people. I need people working for me who are going to represent what is the best that Saltmarsh has to offer. So I need you to think real hard if you are those kind of people.
I mean, I think our actions have kind of already proved that a little bit by, taking down the smuggling operation for you.
Well, you obviously have a plan, and it sounds like a good one. So I'll leave it up to you.
Just out of curiosity, what are the things that mean the most to you about this town?
And her face just warms at the question. And she says, my family has lived here since this was nothing but a bunch of fishing huts and a rickety stone tower. Generation after generation of Oweland has fished these waters and worked hard to build a town and a community that would allow anyone the opportunity to succeed. The people of Daggerford and those they sent down here with their interests, they're trying to what's the term? What's that elven word they were using? And Gellan says, I think the word was gentrification. Yeah, that's what it was. Those fuckers are trying to come down here and make this like a haven for the rich, and basically push out the little guys. Gellan and I, we might both be successful. We might both be considered nobles. If we took a trip to Waterdeep, we went to a fancy party. They might say, "Oh, hello, Miss Oweland. It's good to see you. Are you here to dance tonight?" And no, if I was dancing, I can cut a rug, I'll tell you. Anyways, none of that. What I'm trying to say is, we live a simple life alongside our fellow citizens here in Saltmarsh. This is a town for all people, to give opportunities to all people. This is a town where you could be a fishmonger, or you could be an oyster diver, and you could still afford to get yourself some dinner and a few ales and have a nice place to sleep. This town, it's a good place. We don't have a lot of crime. We don't have a lot of the nonsense that these bigger cities have to deal with. And we don't need them bringing that to our community. And so I guess the answer to your question is I love the heart of this town. I love the people of this town. And I love that the people are this town. And I don't want to see that change.
Well, I think I can support that 100%. So I'm on board with that. I'm afraid we might not have been as discreet as you might have needed us to be. So I think that the information about the smuggling may be making the rounds, that smuggling was occurring. I hope that's not too big of a problem. We're happy to do some cleanup around that if you tell us more.
No. I think the best thing we could do is if you acted on your plan immediately. It sounds like the kind of plan that you can't ill afford being revealed. So the sooner you can get back to that house and set up I don't know, an ambush, a stakeout, I don't know what it is. Whatever trap you plan to lay for them. It definitely seems like time is of the essence.
Sure, absolutely.
God's forbid they were to return while you were gone, and yeah, that they would flee, and then what? We have no leads beyond that. Is that correct?
And God forbids lizard folk wouldn't come into the city while at night.
What? What are you saying, man?
Are you
No,
What's
that's
the point of
so
saying that?
threatening even to me? Threatening even to me.
Yeah. Well, why would you say that, Toothless?
Well, I understand how you would like to maintain the city, but it sounds like you're a little bit concerned about people like me and others coming in.
No, no. And the old woman, exasperated, is like, look, first of all, you read way too much into that if you thought when I said the word people, I was talking about lizard folk. That's your first mistake. No, I'm talking about big city folk, humans and elves and dwarves. She kind of raises her fist angrily. They're the ones we're talking about. Your people were here first. I don't want you to ever feel like we're going to push you out. This is your home too. And your people have been kind and good to us after the initial skirmishes and the flesh eating or all that. And we sort of figure things out, But after that, you have the swamps and the fens. We have the coast. And we work together. And that's fine. If anything, the lizard folk should be concerned about the Daggerford representatives and what they plan to do. They're going to drain the swamps.
I think we might have... Nicely played. I think we may have some common ground there, but I just want to make sure, since you seemed like you were a little bit afraid of me.
Well, I mean, you lunged at me with all those teeth. I thought maybe the ham wasn't enough for you.
No, the hand is always enough. It's very tasty. And he gives her like a little...
I see, a little play on words to try to scare an old woman. You're a class act, that's for sure.
I sort of kind of interpose my body between the two of them and sort of put my hand on her arm and say, I'm sorry, we've all had a very long series of days. He's not perhaps his best self at this moment. I was curious, just if, in the interests of discretion, you could tell us a bit more about why I would have thought that perhaps you'd want the citizens to know about the smuggling. Why is it that you want it kept so quiet? And if I can, I'll try to sort of persuade her to...
Yeah. And actually, Primewater is going to assist you in this. So you have advantage.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so he says, Eda, it's a good point. If word got out on it, what concerns would you have? And she kind of eyes him, feeling with a little bit, looks a little betrayed. And she says, because if they had people in town who were keeping their eyes and ears open, then they would be tipped off that we knew about their operations, and they would be less likely to slip up. If we kept it, as the gnomes say, on the DL, then we could, we could use that to our advantage.
Okay, so it sounds like we need to go do some other quests then, because that was totally... Thanks, Toothless.
So what I'm trying to say is the reason that I wanted them to not make a big deal about it is a number of reasons, Gellan. And I could have sworn that I explained this to you, but I will tell you again. We don't want to tip off any agents that they might have had in the town. Now that I know there are smugglers and there's still a ship at large, that makes me wonder if they have more of these hideouts that they might be working out of, or if this is the only one. The other thing is, you know what Eleander would do with this information, don't you? He would use this as evidence that Saltmarsh can't manage its own business. he would report back to the Daggerford loyalists that we can't keep our own house. And then they'll be justified in sending in more and more of those Daggerford bastards under the guise of brotherhood and diplomacy.
We'll take over the town.
Well, as long as you'll make sure to prioritize the.
I thought you were professionals. I asked you to be discreet, and you just blabber to everyone.
Excuse me, but we're happy
it's
to.
It's my fault. I shouldn't have hired a bunch of rookies.
No, I think we're in good shape, but I just want to make sure that the lizard folk in town stay safe while we engage on this quest for you.
Eda, calm down. Your heart. Listen, if there's a problem down at the docks, I will have some of my people head down there and spin the stories a little bit into the nonsense that it needs to be, fantasy drivel, like I don't know, like a demon cult that I don't know, like has a vampire leader or something, the kind of stuff that people just gobble up and is so fantastical that even the Daggerford loyalists would feel embarrassed to react on, and that'll be fine. Let these folk finish.
Well, Eda, yeah, I'm sorry we got off on the wrong foot or claws or whatever you would like to say, but I think we'll be able to see this to a good end for all of us.
And when we come back, we do have those weapons, whatever they are, so we could make some discreet inquiries throughout the town, and if you needed a little more follow-up on the network that might exist in your town, I'm sure we could assist you with that as well. We do apologize for our brashness, and we hope to continue a fruitful relationship with among the lot of us.
That sounds good. Which one of you is the leader? I will have the contracts for this next assignment sent over to you, and from what it sounds like, I will offer 2 different rewards. One will be the property and the registration and transfer of deeds fees paid. The other will simply be a cash buyout equivalent to those fees.
Had she already? Sorry. Lots of things are lost here.
I'm one of the leaders.
No, I need one name to send these documents to.
Yep.
There's too much rowdiness in this group.
Toothless will be the leader for this group.
Is that so?
Yep.
Well, I guess it is. Where should I have them deliver this contract? Where will you be staying tonight? Or were you leaving right away? If you're hastening back to the house that crawls, then I will rush this through.
We're going to go back to the house that crawls, I think. Although, and Toothless will kind of like look around at the group to see if they really want to go elsewhere, like what they want to do.
Do we have enough daylight to get back there?
In a place that isn't the house that crawls.
By now, yeah, no, it's the sun has set for sure.
Yeah, we should probably rest before we go anywhere. I'm just,
Yeah, Gellan says if some of you don't have a place to stay, I can recommend the Empty Net. I'll even write you a voucher so you can stay the night for free.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
That sounds good.
Nice.
I like it.
All right, then how's that, Eda? We'll get a rush job in on this contract. We'll have it sent over to this scaly gentleman right here, and there you go. They will do the thing, and then what do the drows say? Bob's your uncle. There you go, and it'll all be taken care of. So, my thanks to you for an absolutely fascinating evening. And he extends his hand to you for the forearm shake of shakiness that they do in the Forgotten Realms, where you grab each other's forearms instead of each other's hands. You shake like that.
Yeah.
Do you return the shake, party leader Toothless?
He will.
Okay. And he says, all right, give me a second. And he takes out a small, like moleskin book, and he writes a little note, tears it out, and he hands it to you. And he says, give this to the proprietor of the inn, and he'll fix you up with accommodations for the night. And expect that contract before the sun has risen.
We thank you.
Keep it with you, and bring it back when you have proof of the deed. If you want a pro tip, I would try to I'd try your best not to sink that ship, because free ship, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember I remember my dad getting his first ship, and now we've got a dozen. I can't even keep track sometimes. It all starts with humble beginnings. You guys are rowdy and you're rough, but this is the kind of place where rowdy and rough people can really shine. So I look forward to seeing that shine moving forward.
Aye.
Would there be any kind of bonus, let's say, if maybe we brought back a smuggler alive?
Yeah, sure. We could always question him and ask him, or her, for more information. I'm sure they would be a wellspring of knowledge about everything that transpired. So that would be great.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. I'm just gonna turn around and kind of storm off.
Right. He kind of cocks a bushy eyebrow in confusion, but shrugs. All right, well, Eda, I will be leaving as well. If you need anything, I am always at your beck and call. And they do the little elf kiss on the cheek thing, and then they do the Forgotten Realms, wrist grab, and she pulls him in for a tough grandma hug. And then he escorts you guys out of the house because she is worn out by you guys. And you guys step out into the very warm spring night air, and you can hear the sound of bugs and evening bugs and waves and sort of the bustle of all the people that live in this house. And he immediately takes out his tobacco pouch and begins to roll himself a cigarette.
Okay, real quick,
how did
please.
your dad get his first ship?
Excuse me, one moment. Sorry. Did she even pay us? Real quick, 'cause I kept trying to ask, kept getting interrupted. Did she even pay us for that?
50,
she said
right?
she was going to arrange for each of you to receive 50 gold each.
Okay.
Yep. And now she knows where you guys are staying, and she'll be delivering a contract in the morning. So if you want to ask him directly about the money, he's right there. You can definitely ask him.
Give him your PayPal.
Yeah, and
wait.
the evening is well lit as you kind of head out, and you see him kind of look up at Selune, the moon, and he just sort of kind of stares at it as he lazily takes a drag on his freshly rolled cigarette.
Toothless would definitely ask for one. Oh, do you mind if I have a little drag?
Oh no, I'm extremely curious to see how you're going to make this work without lips. And he hands you his cigarette and starts rolling a new one.
Oh, why, thank you.
Oh,
You just put it in your nose.
Crazy times.
Mm-hmm.
And we've agreed to host a big festival too. Some traveling to do. Professor maggots spectacular celebration, something like that. Supposed to be here.
Sounds terrifying.
Yeah, a little bit. Mr. Maggots, I think is the name. I don't know. We had a meeting about it today. Apparently it's good for the economy. So we've agreed to let them set up for 3 days. No definitive date on when they're going to arrive. Could be any time in the next 10 days. So hopefully the weather's nice though. Apparently they've got fireworks and all sorts of other trained mimics. There's a doppelganger that works for them. I think it's going to be a security nightmare, to be honest. But the people deserve to have some fun. So. Anyways, I've talked you guys' ears off tonight. So, and your ear holes. He motions to Toothless. He says, "I got to get back. My wife's probably wondering where I'm at. Not to mention my sister, who's been recently reunited with us. So that'll be nice to catch up." So.
Oh, where was she?
Oh, away. But the gods saw fit to return her to us.
Can I insight check the away bit?
Sure, yeah.
Where did it go?
And I'll just laugh and say, like, away. That's a
revealing
answer.
You could tell that away is definitely what a person would use if they do not want to discuss where a person went. That is what you're. Yeah. So your insight zeroes in. Yeah, so probably magic drug rehab, or maybe she had a secret pregnancy. These are the kind of like Jerry Springer things that start kind of coming to mind.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Why don't you meet us at the tavern? Maybe we sit down and have some dinner together.
Oh, we just ate, and I've been in meetings all day, and again,
nightcap.
Yeah.
Oh, a
nightcap. I am flattered that you have taken such an interest in me. But my wild days are far behind me. So don't let the kick-ass mullet and the scars fool you. I am a boring old politician. So
I think Toothless would kind of try and get a little bit out of the line of where he wasn't very observable.
Sure.
And I think he'll actually change into a spider and try and follow this guy.
Okay.
Good luck.
Interesting.
Yep. Good luck. Yep. Exactly.
All right. So, for a split party situation like that, may have to handle it in between sessions. Otherwise, it becomes the 5 people watching Toothless show.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that is what you want to do, go ahead and give me a stealth check to get started. Yeah. So
I would have guided myself ahead of time, but
sure. Okay. So a fat 14. All right. So Gellan kind of motions over to the shadows of the some bushes nearby, and he says, "I think something's wrong with your lizard folk. Your leader, he just turned into a bug. So you might want to check on that. All right. So good night, everybody." And he starts heading down the road.
Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah, he just figured out how to do that. He's still kind of testing it out. We'll take care of it.
Well, good night. It was a pleasure meeting you, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
Yeah, he just sort of does the I've tried to leave for the last 15 fucking minutes, back of the hand wave as he walks away, okay. Yeah. All right. So, what now? You stand. It's like, gosh, it's almost 8 o'clock at night. You guys were in there so long.
I think Toothless is gonna go to bed.
All right. As a spider, or what's your plan?
Oh no.
I think he'll go to bed. He'll go to bed as a normal human.
Or you mean lizard folk?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, being a spider is pretty rad. Right as you were getting ready to, being a druid, you're not under the polymorph effect, so you aren't stuck with the brain of a spider. So you heard the whole conversation and the guy motioning at you and stuff. And I'm kind of picturing you snapping like at least 2 of your 8 legs, like like the aw geez kind of snap. And yeah, I guess a profound sense of tiredness kind of comes over you. Also, as a little spider, you would have had to absorb Buddy into your body, so that's awkward. So when you go back to your toothless form, Buddy is there, and the night is laid out before you. Some of you, I think, right? You would have houses, right? You live in the town. Is that correct? I mean, like that's kind of the implication, is that you probably rent or have a simple dwelling in the town. You guys tell me. That's kind of how we'll leverage this. Haxel, based on your backstory, I would think that you don't have a home in the town, right? Because you were a smuggler and you just kind of wound up in this port and that sort of thing. Is that fair? Okay. And Toothless, I'm assuming you live outside of town, so you probably have like a lair or a hut or something within one of the settlements of the lizard folk, right?
I think he would probably like sleep on the boat that we have right now.
Okay. Like the jolly boat?
Yeah, the jolly boat. Actually, ideally, like right next to it.
Okay. A literal murder hobo. That's amazing. Well, at least the hobo part. Okay, so Skull, you're like a mercenary that works out of the town. Would you have like a small like 1 bedroom place someplace?
Yeah, studio apartment.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thogrum, you're a religious guy in the town, right? And you probably have like a workshop or something. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, I would have probably like a small little hut to.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because again, humble beginnings for a lot of these characters. Unless you have the noble background, then we'll talk. All right, and then let's see, Illyria. Yeah, so are you thinking that you are have been in town long enough that you would have a place? Are you maybe part of the Druid Ranger collective that is located in town, and you kind of stay there in like a more commune type setting, or what would your housing situation be?
Well, I moved here a few years ago, so I would think that I would have a place.
Okay.
So that way I could do my research.
Cool. And Tari, are you in a situation similar to Haxel, where you've been here for a little while, but you didn't want to get settled because that would mean you've accepted defeat, sort of thing, or did you?
Yeah, I don't want to get settled, but I do have like roommates. I have like a place that's like not. I will absolutely take a free night at like a inn.
Yeah, those roommates that like never put the sock on the door, like that kind of thing. Yeah. And they're always
eating
to, like,
your
dwarven death metal at like full volume. Yeah, I got you. We've all been there.
It's possible that I'm the roommate that listens to the dwarven death metal at 4 in the morning, but
gosh,
they're all assholes anyway.
I miss you, Hollywood, Florida. I miss you. All right. So yeah, cool. I got you. So yeah, you guys basically have a pass that just says, these 6 individuals are entitled to a night's rest, breakfast included, and it's signed, Gellan Primewater in a messy scrawl. Alrighty.
All right, yeah, I walked down to the.
Yeah, so let's head over to the Empty Nets. So there are 3 taverns in town, which is historically, kind of nuts. But for Dungeons and Dragons and a port town, it definitely makes sense. So you head on down to the Empty Nets, which, let me give you some information about that one. Here we go. Yeah, so the Empty Net. Here we go. I'll show you the picture of it. It is actually built on a pier, so you are out over the water. Ignore the cannons. There's technically no cannons, but it's a pretty cool building made out of boats. So I thought the art was pretty good, so we'd go with it. Yeah, it is run by a dude named Kreb Shanker, which is obviously a good guy's name. And yeah, Kreb Shanker, he has a reputation in town for basically letting just about anything go at his place. And guards are conveniently slow on their response time to his establishment. So partially supported by stilts driven into the harbor waters, this rickety tavern is built from the husks and shells and skeletons of salvaged ships. When you look at it, you get a house that crawls feel for sure. This is like the house that reeks. It is very stinky down here in this part of the harbor. So yeah, as you arrive, it is very much like a Tortuga cutscene from a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, where you've got hookers of all persuasions. Just kind of you have to run the gauntlet of them to get from the shoreline out to the door to the place. There's people that are already here at like only 8 o'clock at night that are already like well into their cups. Some people are dicing outside, and then you could just see a warm glow from inside the tavern, and it is a rowdy scene, to be sure. So yeah. Oh, okay.
Like a cast guidance on Haxel.
Yeah, Haxel, you get guidance. It doesn't help with the Constitution saves you're going to need, but you can use it for something, I'm sure. Alrighty, so you head into the empty nest. Kreb is there, and he is working the bar. He is a Chondathan human, which is to say humans that care a lot about money. He's a human that cares a lot about money. And he is working the bar and working the room and ordering his staff about. And it is a stinky, rowdy place. The floor is sticky. The walls are stained. There is just a haze of tobacco and pipe weed smoke in the air. The bard that is playing, she's doing like a Forrest Gump Jenny thing right now, where she's just naked on the stool except for her guitar. It's just like everything you could think of to be skeezy. This place has got it. There you go. I could go on all night because I did some backpacking when I was a kiddo, and I've seen some real shit, let me tell you. So anyways, yeah, so it is definitely a place that any among you who feel a sense of decency in your hearts are like, what the hell am I doing here? That being said, you see a lot of people are gambling. They're playing Kobold Knuckles. They're playing Sava. They're playing Crown and Anchor. You see some people have some games of Dragon's Ante going on. So there's a lot of gambling, and there is, I believe, let me double check. There might even be a little fight pit where some fights are going on. Yeah, it's a pretty exciting place.
I'm just gonna go sit on the bar and ask for a drink, and then who
sure.
has the note? Did they only give us one note to Toothless or something like that?
Yeah, you know what? I could just take you guys' minis over to the yeah, Toothless has the note. Does Toothless hand off the note before he went to sleep in the boat? Maybe we'll assume that somebody thought to grab it from him before he went to the boat.
I think Toothless still has the note.
Oh, okay. Then you guys have to walk the gauntlet of hookers again, or not worry about it and just pay for room like everyone else, or I guess send a runner to the docks.
Oh, I mean, if you guys like thought you were gonna like go to that area, I think he would give it to you.
I don't know why they wouldn't. I don't think anyone else wanted to sleep like a homeless person next to a boat.
Definitely probably the Haxel since he doesn't live.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, having seen this establishment, I definitely want to sleep like a homeless person next to a boat.
Aw. Kreb runs a legitimate business here. Many legitimate businesses. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the beds are warm.
Insulted
The beds are
on his
warm.
behalf. All right. So anyways, yeah, I can bring you over to the map if that would help. There is actually a map for you, just in case you needed it. I don't know why you would need it, but it seems like in 25 years I've seen a lot of taverns get burned down. So like a lot of taverns burned down.
Yeah.
So
Many.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, let me toss some gentlemen and ladies of the night outside who are trying to ply their trades. There we go. All right, and then I'll move you guys on over to the map, just to so you guys get a general idea of of what you're working with here. All right, so yeah, you're gonna head in. You're gonna head to the bar. Gotcha. Okay. There is a busty dwarven barmaid. Kreb seems to be distracted right now, organizing a fight between some people. The place is packed. So again, I'm not going to put down like a jillion miniatures of, because I don't want people's like Chrome browsers to crash for ambiance basically. So every time you see like a basic NPC miniature, you could just picture like a crowd of miniatures around them kind of thing. But this is more to just give you sort of a layout of the place and that sort of thing. Yeah. So anyways, you head up to the barmaid, and she sizes you up as you approach. She gets a big smile on her face. She's only missing one tooth in the front. And she sees Thogrim, and oh man, that's a tall glass of ale right there. Oh man, yeah, that's a frosty one on a hot day. She leans all 70 pounds of bosom on the bar as you approach, and she says, "Aye, nice to see ya. How's it going?"
Oh, I've had quite the day, dear. Can you just bring me a pint?
I see you've come to wet your whistle. I'll get you the special stuff. Assuming you've got the coin.
I don't know if you know this or not, but, I'm kind of a big deal. So, I'll take it.
Oh, she eyes you as you say that. She kind of raises an eyebrow and says, big deal, are you? Okay. How big are we talking? Because I've got some stuff here that's 5 gold a shot glass.
I'm gonna kind of look at my change pouch. I'm gonna be like, maybe not that big of a deal. Maybe like.
It's always a good question I ask to see whose gold's worth digging. And she kind of pours you a normal whiskey and slides the triple sized juice tumbler over to you. And she says, that'll be 3 silver. If you'd like, I can start you a tab.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Oh, yeah, we're going to need to do that.
All right. Yeah, you get the feeling that if you were to sleep here, you're not even sure where the heck you would sleep. Yeah, it's looking rough. Anybody else have anything they need to do or want to do, or do you want Thogrim to keep working this barmaid for information? It looks like Haxel's heading over. What is Haxel up to?
I was just looking at the map.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Are there any other light sources? Am I the only one?
Oh, is it dark in here?
Yeah, it's super dark. I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Haxel's casing the place for.
Sorry, I had it lit for daytime. Let me light these lamps for you. There you go.
I think I have a torch on, maybe. My guy. I don't remember.
No, there's torches in the establishment.
I'm gonna reload.
I'll ask her for a whiskey as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go talk to the person with the pink hair.
Okay, sure.
Zarya?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I just hire whoever for walk-on extras. I don't know.
I'm seeing Jesse from Pokemon.
What? That's James, but yeah.
That's
okay.
yeah,
James.
yeah, they're one.
James.
You know.
Oh, I thought it was a chick.
Is that the cleric from Diablo?
That's what James wants. Trust me.
And Will Ferrell.
Maybe. Okay, look, I understand that these people may look like people that you recognize, but trust me, these are just regular citizens of Saltmarsh. Okay. I'll talk to my casting department.
Shit, that is Will Ferrell.
It's appreciative. Only appreciation.
Yeah. So as you approach the pink-haired lady, you see that she is an Aluskan human who is using hair dye. Gasp. She is a beefy girl, big and strong, and she has many bruises on her cheek, on her nose, on her exposed bicep and forearm, and her knuckles are all cracked and scabbed. And there is a lot of fighter's tape kind of taped over them. And she seems to be watching with interest as their Sheb is trying to organize a fight. Sensing your approach, maybe, because, I mean, it's 5th edition. Most people are blind. Holy shit. Yeah, all right. Sensing your approach, she turns and she raises a scarred brow. And she gives you a big smile, and she does actually have some pretty healthy teeth by the standards of this establishment. And she says, hello there. What's up?
And
I mean, hail and well met.
Let's sup? Is that what you said? Let's sup? Sure. Let's sup. And I hand her my whiskey and like walk back, kind of like,
is this
come
for
on,
me?
like let's, yeah.
I am about to have fight. I will drink whiskey, but you'll have to wait till fight is over.
Oh, all right. Who are you fighting then?
Some.
Do you not know yet?
Yeah, some sorry shit that's gonna regret it.
There's no doubt about that in my mind. You look as though, gosh, well, I assume you give out better than you take.
She kind of eyes you, and she seems a little confused by the statement, and she says, and
I'm
then
definitely saying it like 65% flirty.
Okay, yeah, because that's what she's trying to figure out. And she kind of looks at her bruises, but she kind of looks at you, and then she kind of gets like a bigger smile on her face, and she's like, absolutely. I give it twice as good as I take, and then some.
Come find me at the bar when you're done fighting, then. I'll keep an eye out. Where are the fighting pits in this establishment? It's so
yeah, she just points
dingy.
to this.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, she points
behind
to this
you.
Grotesque.
I couldn't see over your broad shoulders.
This grotesque pit of bloodstains and filth that never gets cleaned.
Can we bet on this?
Yeah, even as you look into the pit, you see a hungry rat just kind of eating something in the corner of the pit, just nomming away. Yeah, can you bet on it? Sure, yeah. There's definitely people having private bets. There doesn't seem to be anything formal right now, as they can't seem to find anybody to challenge this woman.
Can I sit here like while we're hanging out and just drink and use this time to attune to like the red stone?
Yeah, you could spend it is an hour to attune, but certainly, yeah, you could spend an hour trying to figure it out, like Rubik's Cube style. Yeah.
And I realize this may happen kind of like offline, but can Toothless head elsewhere to the Druid Grove?
Yeah. So you try to get comfortable down by the docks, but you realize that it's gonna be a rowdy night, and
it's not really not totally his scene.
Yeah. Exactly. The boisterous yelling and screaming and all that is just, it's hard to get comfortable without the gentle sounds of the swamp to lull you to sleep. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So, you could head on over to the Druid's Grove.
So Skull, are you trying to Do you need like a promoter? I mean, you look like a bruiser, and I saw you knock those guys out over at the place we were earlier.
He ponders this.
So it's looking like this half orc lady is getting ready to jump in the ring, unless you wanted to try to cut in and jump on it.
I was gonna help Balgrim look at this stone. He'd be more interested in that.
Yeah, so
that'd
these two
be cool to
ladies,
fight some people, but I
these two
still
ladies
have
square
all my
off.
health, so
yeah, and they start, they kind of, flex and pose a little bit. There's a lot of muscles going on here. Haxel, as a smuggler, you're generally exposed to some of the seedier elements. So you know that in a fight like this, what would probably in regular D&D be a variant human barbarian squaring off against a half-orc of any type, the half-orc is probably going to have the edge here, simply because of the statistical chance that they're also a barbarian, and that half-orcs are just really hard to knock out. So you realize that a lot of other people here have seen fights like this before and are definitely, they're definitely wise to it. So the betting definitely seems to be in favor of the half-orc, despite all the bluster and promoting that is being done by Kreb.
Can I get odds?
Yeah. So the odds are definitely not great here, because apparently this woman Nadia has done some pretty good fighting. But this half-orc over here, she's no slouch. That's for sure. So you're looking at probably double your money if your person wins.
Haxel, before you bet, I don't know how perceptive you are, but I'm gonna lean over the side of the walk over to the pit and play my pipes, just play a little bit of a fighting melody and give her bardic inspiration. I'm not sure if that's something that you would recognize.
Yeah.
I think
as a bard,
nice
he would definitely recognize. Yeah, professional.
I think I'd recognize that, and I think I'd kind of look over and just give you a little wink.
All right.
Yeah, return the wink.
Everything I have.
So, I would be down to fight, except I don't have all my health.
So Kreb, who I am remiss in not having a miniature for.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering who was that.
I guess I hoped in my heart of hearts that nobody would try to kill Kreb. So yeah, or it's in a folder on my laptop that's labeled all of your Saltmarsh NPCs. So Kreb is promoting the heck out of this. I guess I could give him a square one real quick. There you go, just so that we know where he is on the map. I feel so lazy doing a square miniature. Let's see. Please forgive me for this drop in visual quality of your game. I know it's unforgivable, but I guess I could have just put down a circle that said Kreb on it, but I would never be able to sleep at night if that was the case. All right, let's see.
I just need to know that it's canon that the cameraman is sitting on the bar.
This little guy is everywhere. He is just everywhere. And you're not even sure what kind of you're not even sure what kind of creature he is, but it's starting to feel like Where's Waldo? Like that little gnome with the striped sweater that travels Faerun. All right. Yeah, there we go. Kreb's miniature. Boom. So Kreb is, promoting the hell out of this, just trying to get everybody excited. And at no point does he make a big to-do about these being ladies. That's not Kreb's style. He just says, all right, everybody, all right. We got two ultimate badasses over here. We've got Nadia, the absolute, and she just kind of raises her fists in the air and kind of kisses her muscles. You know what I'm saying? The muscles. You know her, you love her. She's always kicking the ass around here. And then we've got fresh off the boat, Petra. And you see the half orc just kind of like looks at the crowd stoically and like nod. You know the rules, ladies. No armor. First one to either tap out or black out is the loser. Let's get this thing started. And a mysterious ding sound comes out of nowhere. Anybody with a passive perception of 15 notices that it was a spell cast by Kreb. All right, so yeah, the two of them start fighting it out. I would never make my players watch two barbarians box each other to death. So what is going to happen is there will be 2 dice rolls made, one for each combatant, and whoever gets the highest is the winner, and you guys can fill in the details there. So, because if any DM ever makes you watch 2 NPC barbarians punch each other to death, you need to stand up for yourselves. You need to say, "Selves, we're standing up because we're not gonna watch this." Yeah, because it's trust me, it's miserable. Anyways, here we go. Yeah, since this is a generalized check, I'm going to say that she would definitely use your bardic inspiration on that. So let me add that in as well. All right. Sweet. So Nadia is rocking some bardic inspiration, and Petra is not. All right. Before I roll these dice, did anybody make any bets? Or
I would definitely want to make a bet, and I also would like to, if it gets too bad, I'd like to also put a bardic inspiration in there, or a healing word.
All right. Again, we're just doing one roll here. So if you want to throw your bardic inspiration onto Nadia as well, I'll just add it in right now.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, is that who you're betting on? Is Nadia? Okay. So yeah, type into Roll20 how much you have bet. Keep in mind that you will be able to double your money off of this fight. Oh, okay. All right. So the two ladies immediately rush up and start grappling each other. And Skull, it's some good grappling. As a professional grappler who left his luchador mask at home, you can definitely respect the prowess that the grappling is going on here. A lot of suplexes, a lot of kidney punches, a little bit of biting, also some just straight jabs to the face and the solar plexus. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Man. Anyways, let's see what happened at the end of all this. Oh no! Oh my goodness. She rolled a 2 and she rolled a nat 20. Oh man. Even drawing on the 2 bardic inspirations during the bout, it was not enough. Yeah, Petra ended up putting her into sort of a headlock and just sort of like asphyxiating her. Too proud to tap out. She frantically looked about, and then finally her eyes sort of rolled up into her head, and with stoic silence, Petra set her down gently on the floor of the fighting pit. There are many huzzas, and Haxel, you do not get your money back. And Kreb kind of slides on in, and he raises Petra's arm in the air, and he says, what an upset, folks. What an upset. Oh, Petra, you are fierce. You are fierce. The next round for Petra is on me. And he motions to the busty dwarf barmaid, and she nods back. And yeah, and you know, he kind of, for the first time, notices you guys and says, oh, hey, Haxel, buddy. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. How are things going?
What's it been, like 2 days?
I mean, you know, I was trying to save you. I was trying to save you some face in front of your uppity to do friends. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, how is it going, brother?
Times were rough, but you know,
times have been rough for you. I'd say if I didn't know any better, you must have fucked Timora right up that ass, because your luck is sour, my friend.
worth it. Totally worth it, though. Where did you get that bruiser from?
Oh, Nadia. She was doing some work in town, and now she's doing some work here. A little security, but it's early in the night, so she was warming up. Tooling on some early drinkers. But man, that Petra, I did not expect that. I lost some money on that as well, my friend.
Oh well, we got to figure it out.
So what's the word? What's the word? What's going on? What's going on in town? I heard there's some S business going on. Extra smiles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we found a couple smilers up the shore here, and me and my new friends. Well, they're a little. They're a little religious.
I got you. So they don't like smiling. They're a little grumpy. And he kind of looks over Haxel's shoulder at you guys, and just the biggest, whitest, toothiest smile as he kind of smiles at you guys. His eyes turn into little chibi squeaks on his face as he smiles at you. Just a full face smile.
Yeah, that's creepy. Can you cut that off?
I mean, this is just a town made for smiling. It's just a matter of time. Am I right? It's good though. I know that a smiler like yourself probably don't want no competition. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Speaking of which, I might need to move some stuff.
Like tooth care products, whatnot, the floss, the kind of elven shit they use. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, and the anesthetics as well.
Oh, you talking about maybe some acupuncture from Far East? Is that what we're talking about? I heard that's real good.
Yeah.
Real good for the jaw muscles. So it loosens them up, like real smooth, silk-like.
No, we're doing a little bit more mild. A little good stuff. Good stuff. Happy times.
I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. No problem. No problem. I'm sure that's something that could be worked out very easily. I'll be honest. I heard you've been doing work for your grandma. I didn't know your grandma lived in town, Axel. That's a real sweet. That's a real sweet. It's a real sweet grandson thing to do, helping grandma out like that.
Can I hear this conversation between the two?
Oh yeah, he's just having it, just loud as day. This guy is. Everybody's had this guy in their life at one point. Where you just learned everything about his life and you didn't want to. He's one of those guys.
Does it look like anyone else is paying attention to this conversation going on?
I mean, this guy, unless you speak like thieves can't or something, doesn't really make too much sense half the time. So they just kind of chalk it up to him always being drunk and maybe getting beat up too much when he was a young pit fighter in his youth. So
I have no clue basically what they're talking about.
Yeah, I would say that Haxel, because of his background, and Skull, because of his professional choices, completely understands the conversation. And if either of you don't understand this conversation, I will message it to you over Discord this weekend, so you know what's going on. Yeah.
I mean, I understand the conversation, but
right.
My dude wouldn't understand it because it's thief. Are they speaking in thieves? Well, I guess I wouldn't know.
Kind of, yeah. I was trying to make it. I was trying to make it accessible for everybody to kind of give you an idea of how Thieves Camp, would operate. Yeah,
I got you.
So, all right. He then says, "So are you staying the night? You here to party till dawn? What's the plan?"
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. We got a voucher from grandmother's other grandson.
Oh, okay.
You know anything about him?
Gimme. He kind of like motions with his hand, just very close to your face, very rude. Like, gimme. Let me see it.
Yeah, I had it to enforce.
All right. He kind of unfolds it with one hand, extremely dexterous fingers here. And he kind of reads it and he's like, okay. Primewater, huh? Ugh, that old tool. Yeah, I owe the dude some money. Yeah, I'll put you up for the night. Shit. I can put you guys. I got a room with 2 bunk beds. That's the best I could do for you. Everything else is full.
2 bunk beds, huh?
I mean, you could always string a hammock if you need more room.
Yeah, whatever.
Unless you don't need more room, and he kind of side eyes your companions and waggles his eyebrows at you. Have you worked the old haxel charm yet?
Nah, and I'm out of money, so not tonight.
Oh, dirty. The ones that want money have to stay outside. Everybody in here is loving for free and by their own choice. God's bless.
Yeah, I'm sure about that.
Yeah. Hey, why don't hey, Sheila. Yeah, pour my man Haxel one of his usuals. I got shit to do, buddy. And he kind of pats you on the shoulder. His hand it makes you want to recoil a little bit because you know what this guy gets up to, and he doesn't wash his hands. Yeah. So
before he goes, did he know anything else about Primewater, or did he just kind of general dislike?
Yeah, he just kind of seemed like, that guy, I owe him money, like whatever. Like he kind of had like a feeling like this guy just pretty much gets to tell me what to do, sort of thing. So, sort of took some of the wind out of his sails when he saw who the letter was from.
Got it.
Yeah. All right, and I think right as you guys getting ready to take a long rest, but having a little bit of the evening still ahead of you, might be a good place to call it for the night, and then you could discuss in Roleplay Channel what your next move is going to be, and maybe your overall reactions and all that good stuff, and then. Yeah, I mean, if it's something interesting, I might have obnoxious NPCs jump into your roleplay and bother you, since you're in a place with NPCs around. But I don't know. Yeah, interesting game. You're meeting some of the movers and shakers of the town, and I hope you're starting to get a sense of sort of the politics that are at work here. This particular campaign, I think I've told you guys before, it's been described as sort of like a mini medieval fantasy Grand Theft Auto game, where there's like all these different factions in this like city that are sort of vying for control and power and whatnot, and then how you react to them and they react to you, and then the external events that are going to start happening. And yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting, to be sure. So yeah, any questions before we adjourn? I know the first question is going to be experience points, and the first answer will be check the experience point thread during the week to see when experience points show up. So there we go. This group, I think we decided we would just do experience at the end of sessions and just level up in between sessions. That seems to work well for everybody. Yeah. Okay.
I like that.
All right. Also, if anybody is curious about Roll20 Character Builder, I did post a video earlier. It has no background music and did not use a professional microphone. So if you can endure the whole thing, it does talk about the process of building a character, using Charactermancer, adding stuff to your Charactermancer sheet, and leveling up your character. So, you know, I know that we're in session 6 now, so this would have been an awesome resource to have before we got started. But I said I would put it up eventually, and I made sure that I did. So also, you're still low enough in level. If you have built your character sheet from scratch and you hate it, I can always make you a new character sheet, and you could use Charactermancer to essentially build your character again. And if you do that, if you want to do that, let me know, and then we will link that new character sheet to your miniature, and you can just use that one, and we'll delete the old one. So if you feel like you could get a cleaner one with cleaner macros by using Charactermancer, it's not too late to jump in and do that. All right. On that note, I hope everybody has a great week. I live a European week, so Monday is the first day of the week for me, and Sunday is the last day of the week for me. So it is always a pleasure for the last month now to end my week hanging out with you guys. So it is always a really fun way to end the week. So talk to you guys. Oh yeah, sure. What's up?
Did I get the stone?
Oh yeah. So it is a stone of luck. Anthony could tell you all about Stone of Luck.
It's the best item ever. Item. No, it's pretty fun if you like making skill checks a lot.
Yeah.
It makes you 5% better at everything.
It is a stone of good luck. Essentially, it requires attunement. When you have this on your person, you get a +1 bonus to all saving throws and skill checks, which is pretty awesome.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And I can post that up, but I believe with Compendium you can just search it since it's a basic item and drag it right onto your character sheet.
You said Stone of Luck.
Stone
of Good Luck. Yep.
Oh, good luck.
All right, guys.
Alrighty.
See you next week.
Thanks.
Yep. Have a good week, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Later.